Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for the Tech Guy is provided by Cachefly. CACHEFLY.com. Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. This show originally aired on the Premier Radio Networks on Saturday, January 26th, 2013. This is episode 947. Enjoy. The Tech Guy podcast is brought to you by Stamps.com. Use Stamps.com to buy and print real U.S. postage the instant you need it right from your desk. For our special offer, go to Stamps.com, click the microphone, and enter Tech Guy. And by ShareFile from Citrix. Try ShareFile today for a 30-day free trial. Go to ShareFile.com, click the radio microphone, and enter Tech Guy. And by Lantronix, maker of the Xprint server. Print from your iPad, iPhone, or any iOS device to virtually any printer. For more information, visit xprintserver.com/twit and enter the code TWIT to receive free shipping on your order. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy. And it's time to talk about computers, you know, and the internet and all that jazz. Cell phones. That's a big kind of computer nowadays. Little, but big in spirit. We also talk about home theater. In fact, at 33 1/3 after the hour, our home theater guru, Scott Wilkinson, joins us. He's going to be on all day, a week from today. A full Scott Wilkinson show, because I'm headed to New Orleans. I guess there's a game or something going on over there. So Scotty will be filling in for me on Saturday. If you like home theater, that's going to be a great day if you're interested in home theater. We also talk about other kind of peripheral computing topics, like peripherals, printers, keyboards, and all that jazz. Did you see, at the Sundance Film Festival, there's a Steve, the first of the two big Steve Jobs biopics is out. There's going to be one that Sony's doing. Aaron Sorkin of West Wing is writing. That should be very interesting, although given how Sorkin handled Facebook in the social network, it's probably going to be a little bit of a work of fiction. And then there's one that just came out called lowercase j, capital OBS. Get it? No, neither do I. And so that's starts with the beginning, the early days of Woz and Jobs founding Apple Computer and then getting right up to 2001 and the iPod, and then they stopped there. Sorkin also is doing an odd treatment, at least according to what he's said so far. Now, of course, when you write a script, things change. He's still working on it, but the script he's writing apparently is all flashback. He likes to do that from three big Apple announcements. I think the iPhone, iPod, and maybe the iPad. I'm not sure. Where Steve's backstage and thinking about, you know, how that works. Thinking about his glory days. Well, I've seen a clip now from Jobs, the movie. It's a clip of Steve Jobs trying to convince Steve Wozniak, his other co-founder, that he really should make a computer. And somebody had the good sense to go ask Steve Wozniak, the guy who was actually there, hey, is that how it happened? He said, boy, not even close. He says, it's totally wrong. And you know, anybody who knows anything about Woz and Jobs knows it's wrong. He said, we never had a conversation like that, and I'm not even sure what it's getting at. He said, you know, I was the one who was trying to convince Steve that computing, everybody wanted a computer. We all wanted a computer. Steve was all about making a business out of it. It's quite the opposite. You know, Woz in the fictionalized story is, oh, you know, nobody's going to want a computer. It's exactly wrong. It's exactly wrong. It was Steve Wozniak who said, oh, no, everybody's going to want a computer someday. I'm underwhelmed, frankly, by this movie. I'll play a little bit.
Did you hear that?
What's up?
So weird.
No, that's a movie ad. I'll find the actual movie part of it and play it for you. Yeah, your paranormal activity is nothing like the original Woz and Jobs interaction. He's so scary. They're in a parking garage, and Steve Jobs is trying to convince Steve Wozniak, oh, you know, we should build a computer. I had misgivings in the first place. I mean, to be honest, I think that Aaron, what is his name, Aston Kutcher, is not has none of the intensity, the seriousness, the passion that Steve Jobs actually had. And I've met Steve many times. I spent a weekend with him once when he was on the outs at Apple, and very different picture. And of course, Wozniak, who should know best of all, says, "Yeah, it's nothing like it." So just a word of warning, you know, when Hollywood gets a hold of these stories, they don't make it. They don't make something that's accurate.
Revolution. No more decks. No more mainframes. That changes everything.
It's pretty cool, I guess.
That first voice is the young Steve Jobs, and the second voice, the young Steve Wozniak. Jobs is trying to convince Wozniak to make a computer.
Cool.
What Woz says is, by the way, I had to convince Steve.
It's profound. How could you not tell me about this before?
No, I was just working on it for my own. It was a hobby.
Exactly. For your own. For you. It's what you wanted. It's what your gut, your instinct wanted.
Oh, I can't even. I'm sorry. It's so awful. It's so awful. The kid. So you know, just a word of warning. Have you been asked by Facebook for your government ID yet? What? Facebook and Instagram, apparently, according to the Talking Points memo, Carl Franzen writing, a number of users of Instagram, which is owned by Facebook, and Facebook have been locked out of their accounts and asked for pictures of their government-issued photo IDs. Yeah, I gotta say, if I almost hope they'll ask me for it, then I can get off this horrible ride and just say, no, I think not. Bye-bye. What the heck? What the heck? They're asking you to prove that you are you. Sorry, you can't use our nice service unless you prove you are what we are. Or maybe they just want some of those special numbers on those government-issued IDs. I can't imagine what the point of that is. Facebook has always made a big deal about, oh, you know, your account, and I understand that. But Instagram could be anybody's, right? I mean, my name on Instagram is Chief Twit. I'm not even asserting that I am anybody. Most people use handles on Instagram. What the heck? What the heck? Please ask me for my ID, I beg of you, so I can finally dump those services. Don't you? Instagram's fun, but you know, I can live with that. There's a new service actually that I'm really interested in. Twitter has released a new product, iPhone only, unfortunately. I have an iPhone, but I don't normally carry it around. And I'm actually carrying it around just so I can play with this. It's called Vine, and I feel when I first saw it, I felt like I did when I first saw Instagram. There's something when you see a really good idea or a good I don't know if it's execution, the idea itself or what, but every once in a while I'll see something in technology and I'll go, wow, they nailed it. So Vine, the idea of Vine is it's like Twitter, but instead of text, you get 6 seconds of video. Now, the interesting thing about this 6 seconds of video is you can edit it. So as you're taking your Vine picture, while you tap the screen to start the video. If you hold it down for 6 seconds, you'll get a 6-second video. But if you just tap it, you'll get an image, an image, an image, an image. I don't know, you get 20 or 30, up to 20 or 30 images in your animation. And people are doing very interesting things with Vine. They're actually doing cartoons, animations. It's really kind of cool. So I think Vine and it's interesting that it's owned by Twitter, frankly. It was bought by Twitter. And it really is like a Twitter, same idea where you comment, you know, thumbs up it or whatever it is, you know, you approve of it. And people are doing already some very interesting things. 6 seconds, not very long. It's not the first one, by the way. Vidi did this. A lot of companies are doing that right now. But because it's from Twitter, and this whole thing about editing it is kind of interesting. Oh, and the video loops. So it's kind of fun. There's something about it. Anyway, Vine, another app. There's just so many of them. There's way too many, aren't there? I'm just so sick of it. And yet, they suck me in. They suck me in. 8888 Ask Leo. That's our phone number. If you have a question, a comment, a suggestion, if you'd like to talk about the internet, ask a question. 8888 Ask Leo. The website is techguylabs.com. James DeRuvo's there. Hi, James. Writing down every single thing. No, well, all the important stuff I say. If you wrote every single thing down, it'd be a lot longer. Just the important stuff. Put it up on the website. Then after the fact, Josh Windish adds video. Gives you a chance to comment as well so you can add your thoughts. That's techguylabs.com. You also find a link there to our great chat room. We'll see you in there. Somebody said I needed app intervention. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. I do. An app intervention. Ooh, this is exciting. Ooh, boy. Hey, let's face it, we're all trying to save money these days. We're all trying to find the best value for the buck. And when I think about value, man, the first thing that comes to mind, DSL Extreme, the best value. Wait till Lisa sees these. I gotta, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a Vine when Lisa comes in and sees these. I'm going to surprise her. So did they give me a card with your guys? Richard and Louise? Nice to meet you from Bakersfield. Thanks for coming. 2004. Thank you. I appreciate it. And you're a photo hobbyist? Or you're both photo hobbyists? Just you? She says, just get out of the house. I don't care what you do. All right, so that's my plan. I am going to Vine. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a Vine. I'm going to hide these behind my back. Show the Vine. And then I'm going to pull them out. Show that. You got to plan your Vine because you can't edit it. You can't backtrack. And then I'm going to turn them around. I'm going to show her. Then I'm going to show her going, ah! Okay, all right. Many of them have done this before. Many of them. But there's something about it. I don't know, you know. Every once in a while you come. Go ahead and put it right there. Thank you. And I think Vine's a winner. Not merely because of the association with Twitter, although that doesn't hurt. I am so excited about the next Star Wars, directed by J.J. Abrams. Telephone. I haven't seen that yet. Is this real? This ain't it cool? Logitech selling Harmony. Wow. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. J.J. Abrams is gonna do episode 7. Vine Peak. Is there an API and somebody's already written a third-party Vine service?
Old roots. That being said, is the reason we do what we do. Craft beer in the States.
A lot of people are trying interesting stuff, you know, like this, like animations. I'm sick of food, though. Don't take pictures of your food, okay?
I just wasted 6 seconds of your life.
Okay.
Ugh, sound like Nickelback.
Okay, that's thanks. Okay, VPN client. Why is it not launching? Exit VPN client. Let's do that again, shall we, VPN client? Oh, yeah, I got to talk about that. It's no longer legal to unlock phones. That's just shocking. Thank you, Librarian of Congress. No, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing both Star Wars and Star Trek. I think he did a great job with Star Trek, and I look forward to seeing... that's one of the beauties of having Disney own the franchise, right? Is that... connection. server. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the number. 888-827-5536. Before we get to the phones, another very important news. It is no longer, or will soon no longer be legal to unlock your phone. What? You know, we were making such progress. This is all under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. The Librarian of Congress, of all things, is the person who kind of rules on this stuff, and has decided that that it is okay to jailbreak your phone. I don't understand. It's okay to jailbreak your phone, but it's not okay to unlock your phone. In fact, fines and prison time. That's nice. Unlocking, let me make the distinction so you understand what that is. Unlocking your phone is taking a phone, let's say this phone. I got this, let's say, from Verizon, and it was subsidized, so I understand that thing. You know, I got it for $200, even though it's a $600 phone, and Verizon locks me in for 2 years as a result. There's an early termination fee. Now, it is my personal property, and believe me, I'm paying for it. By the end of the 2-year contract, I'm certainly going to have paid more than $600 for that phone and service, etc. In fact, you know, in every respect, this is my personal property except one. I can't unlock it. Unlocking it means doing something to the phone in such a, and it's not complicated. There are various ways to do this in such a way that I can now use it with other carriers. See, it isn't really my property. It's really, I guess, it's still in a way Verizon's property because I can't unlock it. So I can't use it with anything but Verizon. I can give it to somebody and they can use it, but only with Verizon. So I own it to the degree that I can. I don't understand. I don't understand. Jailbreaking means giving me access on an iPhone to third-party stores. That's still legal. They allowed that to be legal in 2010. In fact, in 2006 and 2010, the Librarian of Congress said you can unlock. Now only the device maker or the carrier can do it. Now there are some, you know, for instance, if you buy a Verizon iPhone, it's unlocked for the GSM chip. I mean, that's Verizon's decision. But I can't do it. The maximal punishment for unlocking your iPhone, or I guess for selling unlocking software, is $500,000 and 5 years in prison. It's just ridiculous. And we're learning, you know, I talked about Aaron Schwartz a couple of weeks ago, and poor fella, you know, was facing serious jail time. Now we learned that that was only because the federal prosecutor wanted to make a name for herself. The state prosecutor who originally had the case was not even going to pursue jail time, was going to appropriately charge, you know, him with a slap on the wrist, you know, and say, you know, don't do it again, put him on probation. I think they said a stern talking to was what he was going to get. Then the feds got it, and it was a chance to make an example of somebody. I should just point out all he did. He had legal access to the database. What he did was he downloaded more articles from this academic journal database than he was supposed to. That was his crime. And the state was right. The state just said, well, you know, don't do that again. The feds decided to throw the book at him. Throw the book at him. What a world, what a world. 8888 Ask Leo. I can't get this computer working. Kyle, who's my first caller? Kyle, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who do we?
Mary in L.A.
Hello, Mary in L.A. Welcome, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hey, Mary.
Hi, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Okay, I'm finally going to bite the bullet and get a smartphone. What do you think? iPhone or Droid? What do you think?
I don't like Droids. Those are the Motorola phones sold on Verizon, but I do like Android a lot.
Okay.
It's a tough, this is a personal call. There's actually really more than just those two choices. There's also Windows Phone. What carrier are you going to use?
Verizon.
Okay. The iPhone of Verizon, as I just mentioned, has a very nice feature, which is it works on two networks: the Verizon network, which is CDMA, but it also works on a network that's widely used internationally called GSM, and they very kindly did not lock it. Do you travel overseas?
No, I wish.
You wish?
No, I do not.
Do you think you will ever?
My son is going to.
He should get a Verizon iPhone. How technical are you? Are you kind of geeky?
No, my husband is.
I strongly prefer Android phones, strongly, because I feel the iPhone is very locked down and very limiting. However, it's your first smartphone, so maybe an Android phone would be almost overkill, The Android phone is very customizable, has a lot of wonderful features. For instance, I'll give you a good example. An iPhone, there's one iPhone, and, you can get the older models, but there's one current iPhone, the iPhone 5. It's a smaller screen than anybody else makes, pretty much. And it has a small keyboard. Now, you're probably have very petite fingers, and it may not bother you, but I cannot type on that small keyboard. And there are other things I don't like about it. For instance, it's always uppercase. Now, you could type in lowercase, but the keys, the letters on the keys are always uppercase. I like a keyboard that lets me know whether I'm in upper or lowercase by changing the keys, little things like that. On Android, you can use any keyboard you want. There's a variety of third-party keyboards you can purchase or get for free. On iPhone, only iPhone, because it's Apple. Apple says our way or the highway. Now, some people really like that kind of control. I'll give you another example. There's a photo site called 500px. Love it. Wonderful site. They updated their 500px app, and now, by default, you cannot search for naked. By the way, it's an artsy site. It's not a porn site. But because some photographers take nudes, there's some nudes on it. By default, you don't see those nudes in this app. But you can change on the website. You could change a safe search switch. And then on the app on the iPhone, search for photos that have nudes in them or have photos that have nudes in them. Apple pulled the application because they didn't want people to be able to do that. Now, to me, that's offensive. And by the way, you can use Apple's browser all you want. But to me, it's offensive that Apple gets to decide what's right and what's wrong. Android doesn't do that. So I prefer Android because it's an open marketplace. But those are all political concerns. Maybe they don't concern you. Maybe you just want ease of use, variety of functionality. This app I was just talking about, Vine, not on Android, only on iPhone. I like a bigger screen. I like more choices. I like choice of keyboard. I like apps, a broader variety of apps. So I like Android. I carry an Android, which Verizon does sell, called the Galaxy Note 2. It's a 5.5-inch screen. It's a huge screen. Now, you may not want that, but the point is I have the choice. You may prefer a Droid, the LG Droid. It's very nice. Galaxy S3 is the most popular phone out there. They're all wonderful choices, Mary. So probably what you should do is go to the Verizon store and look at them and decide which one you like best. It doesn't have to be an iPhone. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Didn't really help her at all, did I? Now I can see the things. Can't hang up on them, but I can see them. No, I can't hang up on them. I just did. Droid Razor Max says, oh, another thing. I like to be able to take the battery out and put a new one in. I always have an extra battery charging at all times. So if the battery goes down on my phone, an iPhone, where you have to plug it in. If the battery goes out on my Samsung Galaxy Note or most Android phones, not all, but most ones, I just take the battery out and put a new one in and I'm back at 100%. I actually have 3 or 4 batteries. I always have more batteries. So there's little things like that. I think having choice is good.
Hey, Leo.
Yeah.
Hey, so you're in passive mode. You can't touch your calls. Is what's happening?
I'll fix that.
Okay, cool.
It just didn't. It wasn't that I. No, I'm in the right mode. It wasn't that I. It just doesn't. It's screwed up. Anyway, I got it. What it does is it launches a copy of it that I can't log in with, and then, for some reason, If I close that one and launch it again, I can do it. No, we're not in G.Padre. We're back to AACLD. Oh, I'm not sure I want to put the call screening up here. That's their new solution. I always buy, now, there's a couple of things. I always buy, you can get the Samsung external charger. I always buy, this is the external charger I use, which comes from Samsung. It's a stand, which I don't ever use. And then you're charging a second battery back there. And it comes with battery. But that's the official Samsung one. I think they have one for the Galaxy S3. But you can also get third-party batteries and third-party chargers cheaper that work just fine in the S3. I have two of these, one at home and one at the office, and it's always plugged in, so I always have it charged up. And when I travel, I bring this and I bring the other battery, so I have 3 batteries. So like the Super Bowl, I know I won't be back in the hotel room. I'll leave at 8 in the morning, won't be back till midnight. So I bring a couple extra batteries, and I never have to worry about it. Yeah, you could buy a battery extender for the iPhone. It's great. And then you're carrying the phone and a big battery. They don't even make a Mophie case for the iPhone 5S. That's because Apple has decided, instead of going with a standard USB, micro USB, in which case it wouldn't have a problem, they've gone with this fancy dang lightning cable. And there's no functional reason for it, despite what everybody says, because they make this adapter, except that they can license it and they own it. So, but there's more accessories for the iPhone. There's a lot of, I think you're better getting an Android phone, personally. And now, after this Librarian of Congress thing, I think you're probably better getting a unlocked Android phone from Expansys or someone. I like removable batteries, and I cannot lie. Being able to plug in a battery makes me high. See, and the other thing about this is this goes 12 hours without a battery anyway. It way outlasts the iPhone. Yeah, yeah, and that's why they make this in the EU. But the funny thing is, it does almost I don't know what it doesn't do. Oh, I'm sorry. I think, I feel like Apple has turned its back on its users. I really do. I think that this happens, doesn't it? When this company suddenly starts making a lot of money, as they have with the iPhone and the iPad, suddenly they're going for the gold. And by gold, I don't mean a metal. I mean money. Money! And things like this Lightning connector, where, that's so they can make more money. I've heard all the technical explanations. It's not. It's so they can license this proprietary connector to people and make money. And it really limits what's available out there because people can't get a license for chargers and cases. And it's just very frustrating to me. I like choice. I think that's what it comes down to. If you want, and choice is, of course, complexity. Like that song said. And I love Apple. Apple's marketing is brilliant. So you have with an iPhone, you have no choice. It's Apple's way or the highway in many, many, many ways, many, many, many respects. With Android phones, you have choice, but Apple's marketing says no. That's fragmentation. I love how they put that. They're having more than one kind of phone. That's not choice. That's fragmentation. Very good marketing, but really, let's call it. Let's be honest. It's choice. Now, not having a choice makes everything simple. So there's a lot of people for whom this is a good thing. Apple, tell me how to do it. I'll do it that way. If you don't want to be confused, if you want somebody, and Apple has good taste, very good taste. So when Apple chooses something, generally they choose it well. I have a very good friend sent me an email the other day. He said, I bought a Galaxy S3 as a backup and toy to my iPhone. because you told me to. He said, Androids just don't work for me. I couldn't figure out how to sync my iTunes. I tried 3 different sync tools. None would work. I tried Double Twist, which you've recommended. Double Twist worked once. Then a week later, it wanted permission to reinstall itself. I got nervous. Boom. He's back to his iPhone. And so there, and I completely respect that. If you want simple, if you're using iTunes and you just want it to kind of work, then it's a good choice. I like choice. Like I want to have different keyboards. I'd like to have a removable battery if that's what I want. And things like that. I want bigger screens if I want. If I so choose. Trevor, Washington D.C. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Trevor.
Hey, Leo. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I have a question for you, but before I get to that, I wanted to just say that I write about last episodes of television shows, and I wanted to give you really nice kudos for your little sketch on the last episode of Attack of the Show.
Oh, thank you. Who do so you have a blog about the last episodes of shows?
Yeah.
How fun.
Yeah, it's called TVSeriesFinale.com.
I love the idea. Did you come up with this idea?
Yeah.
You know, of course, the last episode of MASH, huge, famous. And
right.
Last episode of Dallas, huh? The last episode of Seinfeld, oh my, horrible. So yeah, that's fun. I mean, there's something. So I used to work for, to explain what you're talking about, Trevor, I used to work for a channel called Tech TV from 1998 to 2004. We did a couple of shows. I did Call for Help, and I did The Screensavers. And The Screensavers was the most popular show on the network, very popular. The network got sold by its owners in 2004 to Comcast, which moved it to L.A., fired me, moved it to L.A., kept the show, but they wanted a younger cast. I'm too old for them, so they had a younger cast. Eventually, people were so irate about their use of the name The Screensavers that they said, all right, we're going to change the name to Attack of the Show. But they kept the hosts, and, they made it more kind of a pop culture thing. 8 years later, the channel did not succeed. It is now being shuttered, and they're renaming it the Esquire channel in conjunction with Esquire magazine. I can only imagine what that is. But the last episode of Attack of the Show, which was originally The Screensavers, was this past week. And very graciously, the folks at G4 and the executive producer who I had worked with on The Screensavers, Joshua Brentano, said, would you and Patrick, the old Screensavers host, like to do a coda, a little bit at the end of the show? And it was an homage to the last scene of Dallas, right? Or maybe Newhart. You tell me, you're the expert. Newhart, more Newhart? Where Bob Newhart, he's lying in bed next to Emily, and he wakes up. He said, "Boy, I had a terrible dream. The whole series was a dream." That's the idea, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Now that's what they did. The whole horrible era from 2004 to 2012 of Attack of the Show was merely my bad dream. And then Patrick and I went off to work, and went to do The Screensavers, which was great fun. And it was very gracious of them to let us kind of make fun of them in the very last segment on that show.
Yeah, it was great.
Thank you.
Yeah. My question is, I have an old Dell Latitude E6500. It's a Core Duo. It was running slow. I tried reinstalling 64-bit Windows 7. I gave it 8 gigabytes of RAM, 256 solid-state hard drive. I'm running 2 external VGA monitors, and it's slow, especially after I installed Adobe's Design Suite, CS6.
So your first hypothesis, which is not unreasonable, is it needed more memory, more RAM, but that didn't speed it up. You reinstalled the operating system, I presume, or no? Yeah, you started fresh. So that's another good hypothesis. Often computers, after they're used for a while, slow down. But a fresh operating system and fresh memory, and it's still slow. It's probably
and I added a solid-state hard drive.
Oh, that's, by the way, the single biggest thing you could do to any computer. Now, an older computer won't benefit as much because the drive is faster than the connection to the drive, what we call the bus or the I/O bus. It needs to be as fast as the drive is, and unless you have a newer computer, it isn't. So you put a very fast drive in, but the bus isn't any faster. So, and it may also be. I hear you're driving 2 monitors. Are they in mirrored? No, they're extended, right?
Correct.
That means you're pushing a lot of pixels across those 2 screens. I would bet that the problem is really just an older video card, and on a laptop, it's a laptop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about the video card with that.
Okay. All right.
How old is the computer?
It's 4 years old.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it's enough. Do you know what the video subsystem in there is?
I don't. It's
And when you say slow, is it unbearably slow, or you just would like it to be snappier?
No, at times it's just unbearably slow, like when I have multiple browser windows open or I'm using Evernote. It just, it'll start saying not responding.
Well, that sounds more like an internet issue now, right?
Well, I have other laptops.
How does InDesign perform? How does InDesign perform? How does InDesign
Not bad.
Okay.
Not bad. I mean, occasionally, not responding, but not too bad. Kind of the same as everything else.
Yeah. Well, I would have said replace the hard drive, but you did.
Yeah.
So it's not. Sometimes what's one of the first things that goes is hard drives get a little flaky, harder to read, and that slows the computer down. It continues, but it just has to work harder to read the drive, and that slows it down. Well, you've done everything.
Yeah.
The video card is the video subsystem's the last thing that you haven't changed, and you can't really change that. I think you need I hate to say it, you need a new computer. 8888 Ask Leo. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. I love all the people in the chat room who don't listen to the question and then offer answers. If you didn't hear the question, please do me a favor. Don't suggest an answer. Hey, you should put more RAM in. Is it a 64-bit operating system? The internet is an absolute necessity for our everyday life. But we all know there's a lot of danger. Yes. Let's see what the soup is. Without worrying about malware, viruses, worms, phishing scams, keystroke loggers. So, Leo, is it a computer he's using? Is that what's slow? Nod 32 from ESET. It has the most advanced heuristic. What? Tell us. Could you repeat the question, Leo? Clam chowder, vegetarian barley, chicken noodle, or beef chili? Salad, please. Use the balsamic dressing, not the vinegar. The dressing. Thank you. He replaced. Now, you're wrong when you say it's the seek time. I hear people say that all the time. No, that's not what makes a solid-state drive fast. Yes, there's 0 seek time, so it's part of what makes it fast. But by far, what makes it fast is faster I/O. And as my expert, and you don't have to believe me if you think I'm an idiot, but you probably should believe Alan Malventano, reviews SSDs for PCPerspective.com, was the one who told me there's not much point in putting an SSD in an older computer because if it's SATA 1, you're not going to get the throughput that the drive gives you. Yeah, I agree. 44 caliber. I love how people in the chat room go, well, Leo, you're wrong. It's actually seek time. It could be a bad SSD. If it was slow and he replaced the replaced the hard drive with an SSD, and it's still slow, it's unlikely that. I would, and he also reinstalled the OS, so it's probably not the, TCP stack that's slow. I saw that Neuromancer. In fact, we even showed it on the screen. Are you guys just waking up? Scott's not going to be on today. He's out, I guess. That's right. The SSD was new to this install. That's exactly right. It's possible he has a bad SSD. It's possible all sorts of things, but not likely. NAM. Ah, yes. Thank you. I don't know. It's my fault for paying attention to the chat room, right? I'll do another Vine. Let's do a Vine vid. Yeah, I'll show you. We'll do a fun one. We'll do a radio one. So, what's going on? It's very buggy, I gotta say. Jeez. Okay. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. What is that?
Test mode.
Oh, sorry. You're on the wrong side here. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, 8888. Ask Leo. That's the phone number. 888-827-5536. That's toll free from anywhere in the U.S. Outside the U.S., you can always call via Skype out. Shouldn't cost you anything since it's a toll-free number. Yeah, Trevor, basically, I don't have a fix for you. It sounds like the computers, when your computer's slow and you've replaced everything, you pretty much need to replace the computer. I mean, it could be an internet issue and so forth, but it sounds like it's just slow. Let's go trucking. In South Dakota, David's on the line. Hi, David. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hey, it's like I have a feeling that it might be the power supply. When I plug the power in, it will power up for a second and then just shut down. And then if I disconnect a couple wires to the motherboard, there's like several wires from the power supply to the motherboard, and then I plug the power in, and I can get the thing to kind of the power stay on, but I hear this light buzzing noise from within the power supply.
Is there any smoke coming out of this? Any flame?
I didn't see no smoke or nothing. The oldest part of this computer is the power supply.
And you built this yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, and so I don't know.
The motherboard is a Crosshair V formula.
I don't care. It doesn't really matter. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's probably broken. Martin in Pennsylvania, Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hey, Leo, how are you?
I'm good, Martin. What can I do for you?
Show.
Thank you.
Yeah, been listening for a while. On your recommendation, I hear you guys are using Ring Central.
At the studio, we do. Now, I should say they're a sponsor, but we actually used it before they were a sponsor. And then they said, hey, we should buy ads. This guy keeps talking about his phone system. I like that. That's the best kind of advertiser. Yeah. So what it is it's a business phone system that uses your internet connection, and you do everything online in a web browser. All the kinds of configuration you would do on a PBX system, like adding extensions, phone tree, music on hold, and it has a lot of more modern features. Things like there's an app for the phone that you can make a Ring Central call. From the phone that looks like it comes from the business number, is billed to the business number. Incoming calls go to your cell phone as well as your desk phone, things like that.
Yeah, we actually ended up getting it.
Oh, good. Good. I'm glad to hear it.
We love it so far, but we're having some difficulties trying to get our analog fax machine to work.
Oh, yeah, that's not... You're a doctor's office, I see.
Yes.
Yeah, so faxes, unfortunately, the federal government requires you to send faxes still.
Yes.
Isn't that thoughtful?
Yes.
Well, you know, Ring Central does faxes.
Yeah, but they don't. They provided us an ATA through, you know, it's a little device that Lynx has developed, and I guess essentially it's
Ring Central provided you the ATA, or
yes.
Okay, so this is their approved system, because generally fax machines don't work with VoIP very well.
Yeah, that's what we're finding out. And so my question to you is, do you guys use fax there?
Yeah, but we use Ring Central's built-in fax. So incoming faxes come to the same number. Fax machine, the incoming fax machine goes beep, beep, that annoying thing, and the Ring Central PBX goes, oh, yeah, you got a fax, takes it, sends it to the email, or I suppose if you have HIPAA regulations with that in that regard, there must be a way that you could do that without going to email. And then, you know, probably a store somewhere. And then outbound faxes, we scan them and send them that way. Yeah, and you know, the truth is, it'd be nice to get. I'm sure you would like to get rid of that fax copy machine.
Would love to.
Yeah.
But the doctor is, you know, set on it, and the staff is set on.
Well, and for privacy reasons, you know, I understand. Although I'm not convinced it's more private, but it feels more private.
Right. Yeah. So I'm just trying to find out if maybe somebody in your chat room,
maybe somebody knows. So Ring Central gave you an ATA and said use this.
Yes.
Okay, so I would ask them why it's not working. I mean, it is absolutely the case if you're using any voice over the internet solution like an UMA or Skype or anything. The faxes just don't work very well.
They don't.
Yeah, you could try lower speeds.
We did all that.
It still didn't work. Yeah, I don't think that's unusual.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, what you could do, and it might not be a bad idea, in fact, I would recommend this, is having a dedicated, cheap POTS line just for faxes. You know, POTS, plain old telephone service. Yeah, and it's cheap. And it's just for that. Don't let anybody make phone calls to that. Don't give out that number to anybody. It's a dedicated fax machine, and that's probably a more reliable and more secure solution anyway. Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking, too.
Yeah, I would do that, Martin. He's a doctor.
Well,
he can afford it. All right, Martin. But if anybody in the chat room has a solution, we'll let you know. Audiophiliac in the chat room says, make sure you're using the right codec. You want to use G.711 or G.729. I presume they configured that appropriately. And others are mentioning eFax. That's a solution I use for my personal faxing, efax.com, and they're HIPAA compliant. They have a HIPAA compliant storage. Emailing the fax is not HIPAA compliant, to my knowledge, but unless they encrypted it. But if you had a dedicated fax store, so eFax is actually probably a little less expensive than having a dedicated line. And in effect, it is a dedicated line. They give you a phone number and all of that. efax.com. That's what I use. I like it. Larry in Denver, Colorado. Hello, Larry. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Yeah, hi, Leo. I hope you're doing well.
I'm very well, thank you.
This regards a Toshiba satellite with Windows 7 Home Premium.
Yeah.
Automatic updates are turned on, and ever since December 12th, 4 of the automatic security updates have been failing.
No, that's not good.
Single time.
That's not good. You want those updates.
The error code is 8024200 Delta dash Delta 000. Anyway, I ran Fixit, and Fixit says to me that the update database is corruption, has an error code, and I'll pass on giving you the code, and update components were configured incorrectly, and it reset something. Did
Fixit fix it? Just I'm curious if Fixit fixed it.
No.
No. So, you know, really, that's not a well-named application, is it?
And
they should call it maybe obfuscate it or confuse it.
And I ran it in both regular and advanced mode.
I don't recommend Fixit. So
okay. I also ran the system update readiness tool, and that didn't work either. I tried.
You're giving all the reasons why I don't recommend any of these third-party tools.
Well, they're Microsoft's.
Oh, well, that's okay. That's a Microsoft tool then. All right.
These are all Microsoft.
Oh, I know. When you said Fixit, you mean the Fixit from the website. Yeah, that's a registry. That's a registry fixer. Yeah.
The Fixit that comes up under
Yeah.
Windows updates when something fails.
Yeah, those are little registry hacks. We've got the smartest guy in the world on the line here in our chat room, Father Robert Ballister. He's going to explain how to fix it right after the break, Larry. Hang on. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Microsoft, fix it. Fix it, Microsoft. Winter weather can really impact the way we do business. I'm not in a good mood today to fix things. Is Lisa here? I tell my employees, I say, don't come in if you're not. Okay, hold on. I don't want to get you germs. I got to do something. The job still has to get done. That's why we use GoToMeeting from Citrix. I got to make a Vine. Way to meet with clients and coworkers online, no matter what the weather's like. With GoToMeeting, you stay connected wherever you are. You click a link, you turn on your webcam, you're instantly connected to your team. You're collaborating on documents in real time. You see each other in crystal clear HD video. You know, you can launch or join a meeting anywhere using your computer, your smartphone, or your tablet. You can even present from your iPad. So even when you can't make it into the office, you can stay in touch and be productive. I love GoToMeeting. I insist on it. That's why I want you to try it free for 30 days. Don't wait for our special offer. Visit GoToMeeting.com. Click the try and free button. Use the promo code. GoToMeeting.com. Use the promo code.
Oh my God. Okay. Did you get that? Or did you get me jumping up and down like an idiot? Are they the right seats?
Yes. They're small. I thought they'd be bigger.
Oh my God, I'm shaking. I'm shaking.
You're tuned to Premier Channel.
So where's all the other stuff? Is there
That's all they sent.
This is all they sent?
Yeah.
Where's our hotel confirmation and everything?
Nothing.
Sorry. Okay, you just made my morning. That's all they sent me? They were like, get away from us, woman. You're scaring us.
Yeah, basically that's it. Anyway, put those somewhere safe.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm shaking.
I like your hair. Cute.
You like that?
Yeah, I love it.
Did you? Let me see what you recorded. You're not posting that, are you?
I am.
We'll begin at 6 minutes past the hour.
You can't post that.
Okay, let me play it first.
You're not allowed to post anything like me on that.
Why does it think I'm...
Oh my God, I'm shaking. Leo's vacuum.
Leo's vacuum. Twit, tire, and brakes. What the hell?
So you like my hair curly?
Yeah, I love it. It's cute. But you don't have to... I mean, I know that's a lot of work.
No, it's not. This is a little less than my natural hair.
Okay, ready?
Yay!
Look. They're here.
I don't know why I got that shot.
They're here.
You can post that. That's cute. Oh my God. You can post that. Put that on Facebook so I can.
Now they want to see the video here.
They should.
Yeah. Hold on, I'll show them.
Yes, I'm an insane freak about it. I am a total guy in a woman's body when it comes to football.
Now, Vine Peak, I can't go back in time. Oh, that's too bad. I can't go back in time. Oh, that's too bad. Well, I could show it on Facebook. I did. I posted it on Facebook.
Okay, then I'll see it. Thank you.
Sure. Put them somewhere safe. Don't want to lose those. Huh? There's a lot of people would, so that's what I'm saying. Put those somewhere safe. I know. Lisa, as you can tell, is a little bit of a fan. Just a little bit of a fan. You know, Lisa made me interested in it. Shh. Look.
They're here.
Look.
They're here.
Look.
They're here.
My main concern was that you not know. Look. My main concern was that you not know
Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
that what I was giving you, and I did. I fooled you.
from Premier Radio Networks.
All right, well, I won't show it anymore, Mark. That's Vine. That's Vine right there. You think I'm high, audiophiliac?
High on the Super
This
Bowl.
is Premier Channel 7.
Our show today brought to you by our good friends at...
Begin at 6 minutes
Do I have
past
time?
the hour.
Yes.
From Premier
No,
Radio
I don't.
Networks.
I'll have to save it. Yeah, I saw the Super Bowl app. Yeah, I'm excited about that.
You're tuned to Premier Channel 7. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, will begin at 6 minutes past the hour. From
You
Premier
can
Radio
put Vine clips on Facebook. That's why I don't understand why Facebook blocked Vine. Yeah, they're not cheap, Dan. I could have bought a good computer for those tickets. But it's just to see her smile.
You're tuned to Premier Channel 7. Leo Laporte, the tech
It's worth it for
will
that.
begin at 6 minutes past the hour.
Oh, I won't be doing the show from New Orleans. We're going to have somebody else do the shows, but I will probably be sending out all sorts of social media. I don't know if I'll use that Vine or not. I haven't quite mastered it, as you can tell. And you can't edit it. You can't fix it. It's just the way it is. So you're kind of stuck.
This is Premier Channel 7. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, will begin.
You just you get the YouTube URLs by just creating a new YouTube channel, and we were lucky we were able to get all the show names. I think that we might have asked a few people to release them to us. We didn't have to strong arm anybody. In the cases where we couldn't get it, we, like Security Now, it's Twit Security Now, something like that. Good man, Street Racer 84. I'm bringing, we have some P90X weights in the basement. I'm bringing them along.
6 minutes past the hour. From Premier Radio Network.
It's in the Vine settings. Facebook, Twitter, and Vine. Yeah, that's face value, Rusty Bones. Tom Likas. Well, I love Tom Likas. Is he back on the radio?
You're tuned to Premier Channel 7. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, will begin.
Garage Gym's great. I'll do a little video so you can see it. I won't do a Vine. I'm tiring of Vine. I think I sense people are tiring of Vine. How did Sarah look? Did she look all right? I did not see her return. Oh, Padre. Now, what should I tell this guy? It's .net?
You're tuned to Premier Channel 7. Leo Laporte,
The .net framework cleanup tool. You're pretty sure it's .net? All right. Is that based on that error code or just in general? $912K. Yeah, they do H.264 encoding on the Vine, which is very interesting. Yeah, I love the AOTS. Tom Ficus. Tom Licus. Well, a good day to you, Leo Laporte here, the tech guy, 8888 Ask Leo. That's the number. If you've got a comment, a question, a suggestion. Scott Wilkinson did not, as I inadvertently, I promoted Scott Wilkinson, our home theater expert, and I forgot he's not here. He's not with us. He is at NAMM, the big music convention. So, but the good news is you're going to get 3 hours of Scott Wilkinson a week from today. He's going to come in, fill in for me, and do a home theater section for 3 hours and talk a lot about the NAMM show, which is a great show for audio and music, and should be a lot of great stories from that. So that's next week on the Tech Guy Show. Before the break, we were talking to Larry in Denver, who's got a problem, and it's a big problem. He can't run the Microsoft security updates. They're stuck. And the reason this is a big problem, and I guess you probably know this, Larry, or you wouldn't be so worried, is it means you're vulnerable, because as soon as one of those security updates goes out, it's an announcement to the bad guys that there's a problem. The bad guys immediately get to work to figure out what is that problem and how they can exploit it. They create things called exploits, which they then sell to the public, their websites where you can buy these kits that are loaded with hundreds of exploits taking advantage of unpatched versions of Microsoft Windows. And as you surf the web, you're almost certainly going to run across a website or two that has these kits installed. If you have this flaw, you'll, without your knowledge, silently, without warning, be infected. So you're absolutely right to be worried about this, Larry. It is not okay not to be able to install these updates.
One of these updates has to do with remote access, but curiously enough, absolutely everything else has been going in okay.
So our expert in this stuff is Father Robert Ballecer. I call him the Pope's IT guy. He's a Jesuit priest, but also an IT whiz. He does a show for us called This Week in Enterprise Tech. He's in the chat room. He's listening right now, and he suggests, he says this is fairly common. He believes it's a broken .NET framework. .NET is a tool.
Right.
Yeah, and you may even have.
The .NET updates are going in okay.
Yeah, but they use the .NET to do the other updates, right?
Okay, now.
But I have a fix for you if you want to know.
I'm ready.
So you can Google .NET Framework Cleanup Tool. And there's a blog that Father Ballecer pointed me to, Aaron Stebner's weblog. Aaron is the guy who wrote this tool. He's published a guide to it. It automatically performs a set of steps to remove selected versions of the .NET framework and then update them. It's to return your system to a known, relatively clean state in case you are encountering .NET framework installation, uninstallation, repair, or patching errors.
Now, all of this stuff sounds like a problem with the update database on Microsoft's end.
Yes.
So I tried
but it's not. Because it's not. You know why? Because if it were, it'd be more than just you. Right. It's on your end.
Right. Okay.
So, you know, nobody, if I would be getting a solid bank of calls saying, I can't update, I can't update, I can't update. This is your system. It's not unusual, however. I got to point out, a lot of people have this problem. This is one to bookmark and save. We'll put it in the show notes, too, at techguylabs.com. A very useful thing to know. There is a Microsoft troubleshooter for people who are having problems with updates. But I am being assured over and over again by Father Robert and others that this is almost certainly what's going on based on what you've described. Robert says this happens to more people than you'd think, but most people just ignore it. And so it's I would even download this cleanup tool and keep it up to date, and then you can keep it clean, keep it up to date, and you won't have this problem. And I am so glad you called there because you do not want to let this skate. Flesh TH in our chat room says, yeah, I just ignore it. Don't ignore it. It's a big problem. Neil, Phoenix, Arizona, you're next. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Neil. Hello. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't press the right button here. Let's try it again. Hi, Neil.
Good morning, Leo. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you?
Great. Well, how are you been? I just want to say thanks for all of your suggestions. Thanks to you, I have chosen a Samsung Galaxy S3, and I support at least half a dozen advertisers for you, as a matter of fact.
All right. Well, I don't make any money from the S3, but I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah. My question, though, is about Windows 8.
Yes.
I did the upgrade, but it came out in October, and it's working fine. And I did that. I set up what's called storage spaces, and I did the mirroring of my data drive. I have an SSD boot drive, and the data's on the mirrored mechanical drive.
Yeah. Storage spaces is great when it works.
Right. All right. So it's working well. My question to you is, does that eliminate the need for another external hard drive in addition to Carbonite, which I already run?
No, I think you're good. I mean, it's up to you how belt and suspenders you want to be. Which option for, quote, data resiliency are you using? What kind of mirroring are you using?
Mirroring.
You're using mirroring. Yeah, that's 100% data redundancy. It's, in effect, a backup that's kept continuously. So that's good. It's like a RAID backup. You're absolutely smart not to limit it to, you want some additional off-site backup, Carbonite or whatever, but you can absolutely rely on it as near-term storage, which is a great way to have backup. But of course, if those drives fail, you're out of luck, right? So you need to have a second.
One thing, if I might add, about your Carbonite, if I may point out, and I'm not sure you mentioned this, but when I put Carbonite in, did you know they also have backups for the Android phone and the iPad as well?
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
I
nice.
just found this out. I
think that's new. I think they've recently added that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so I've
great.
actually now it's backing up the phone as well as my iPad. So I thought maybe you'd like the way you want to mention that.
Yes. Thank you. You could do the ad next time. You do the next ad, Neil. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Take care.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. You could trust storage spaces. I like this feature. It was based on something called Drive Extender that was part of Windows Home Server. It lets you pool your system's hard drives, kind of like RAID lets you take multiple hard drives and make it appear as a single hard drive. So if you have a couple of hard drives in your machine, it appears as one double-size hard drive. And then, just as with RAID, you need to choose how you want this data to be stored. You can have mirroring, which is what he was doing, which means that, in effect, you don't get double space, but the two drives are duplicates of one another. If one fails, then you have a copy. If you have enough disks, you could even do something called three-way mirroring, which stores a copy on 3 of the 5 disks, meaning any one disk can fail and you just put a new one in. It's kind of like RAID 5. It's easy to, if you know about RAID, it's pretty much the same thing. Not quite, but it's similar. And it's a little more flexible, I guess, than RAID. But there's, just like RAID, it's local space. So if the drives burn up, the computer melts in a puddle, you've lost everything. So it's local backup. And mirroring always makes me a little nervous because you're kind of relying on the operating system. If you have a massive failure, you might have to reinstall the operating. It's a good idea to have an extra little backup in the cloud if you're going to do that. Always is. Chris in Georgia, Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Good afternoon, Leo. How you doing?
I'm great. Hi, Chris.
Hey, I got a question for you. I've been watching some of your shows, and I got some suggestions from you as far as a NAS solution, and I do use Carbonite.
All right, hang on. We're going to talk a little more about backup when we come back. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Enjoy the music you hear on the Tech Guy Show, or you just like to know what the heck it is. Kyle Benham, my musical director, makes a playlist of all his stuff and puts it on his Google Plus account after the show. It's Kyle K-Y-L-E-B-E-N-H-A-M. We also put it on the show. I give him a little plug because the truth is, you should just go to our website. It's all there at techguylabs.com, or you could circle Kyle, and you'd be friends with our musical director. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the number. 888-827-5536. I picked up Chris from Georgia. That's who it is. Hi, Chris. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. So you're using Carbonite. I like hearing that.
Yes, sir. And I have a D-Link NAS that I have two terabyte drives into, and I'm dumping data to that manually. And what I'm looking for is a software solution. I know you talk about incremental backup. I'm looking for a software solution that will pull from the different computers in the house and back up to that NAS.
So what you're describing is similar to our previous caller. He's using Microsoft's own built-in Windows 8 built-in capability, but you've got a dedicated piece of hardware called Network Attached Storage, or NAS, that is attached to the network, and all the computers can see it. It's a central large hard drive. Usually that's in RAID, at least RAID 1, maybe RAID 5, so it's got redundancy in case a drive dies. So it's your centralized backup, and it can also back up to the cloud. Most NASs have software built in that will automatically do this backup. Yours does not?
I don't have the software on every computer, and I didn't know.
No. Most NASs, you don't need software on any computer. The NAS, you should look and see if there's a plugin. You said it's a D-Link?
It's a D-Link DNS 320, and I bought it before I got your Synology recommendation.
D-Link's fine. It's the Share Center. Does anybody know in the chat room if the Share Center, almost all the NASs, Synology, ReadyNAS, the ones I've used, you can have them pull backups. So because the NAS is seen by all the computers, but it also sees all those computers. It's shared. And so the NAS can literally go to computer and computer and computer and say, give me your data, give me your data, give me your data. I want to do an incremental backup without having to run any software on the client machines, which I think is fantastic. That's the way to do it. So I would check and see if your D-Link has a plug-in. It may not be automatically installed.
Okay.
Yes, apparently according to, and I'm getting from the chat room, is writing or quoting from the D-Link manual. Zendrum says included backup software allows users to protect important files by scheduling automatic backups on set timeline. So that is built in. So in other words, find that on your NAS and run that. You don't need anything on the dedicated client, on the clients, attached clients. Does that make sense?
Leo, thanks for your help.
You're welcome. Yeah, that's one of the greatest things about NASs, frankly, is that they can do the backup. And then, not all NASs have this, but it's worth looking for. Then that NAS itself could then do the Carbonite or the cloud backup. Many NASs have software that'll back it up to Amazon's S3 storage, for instance. So that's kind of, to me, a great solution. You're backing up automatically without doing anything. Your kid's computer, any computer, automatically being backed up by the network attached storage on a regular schedule. It's not quite as cool as Carbonite because Carbonite's all the time, but you make that schedule daily. You know, I do it every night, for instance. At least you're not going to lose more than a day's worth of work. And then have that NAS weekly send everything up to the cloud. Maybe not everything. You don't need to. I think people sometimes use cloud storage to store larger files like music and video. I wouldn't recommend putting that on the cloud just because it's so big. Unless you have an abnormally a huge amount of bandwidth, upstream bandwidth, it's never going to happen. You're never going to get it all up there. You don't want to back up terabytes of data. So only back up to the cloud, maybe 100 gigabytes at best, you know, because think about it, do the math. If most people have 256 kilobits up, or maybe if you're lucky, a megabit up. A megabit per second means it's about 6 megabytes a minute. So do the math. If you've got hundreds of gigabytes, it may take weeks, months, years to back everything up. So that's not the ideal. You want to be judicious in what you back up to the cloud. Stuff you really cannot lose. Mary in Huntington Beach, California. You're next. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hi.
Hey.
Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks.
I have a question for you. I bought a laptop in December. It had Windows 8 on it because I could not find a computer with Windows 7 on it anywhere, and so I decided to jump in.
Welcome to the 21st century.
I had Windows 7. It wasn't that old.
I love Windows 7. I'm kind of mad that Microsoft's forcing us to this new operating system, to be honest.
I felt the same way, and I decided to try it, and I've made it, set it up so that it works for me as close to Windows 7 as it does. But it seems to be not working well with my programs. My printer it's always giving me errors, or it doesn't print the whole thing out. My email freezes. I feel like I have to reboot it a lot. I never had to do that before. My question is, I own a copy of Windows 7. Is it worth my while to wipe Windows 8 off this computer and put that on and go back?
Is that a great question? I'm seeing a lot of people. There was a picture posted It was probably fake. I don't know, of a computer store offering Windows 7 downgrades for $125. And
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
Yeah. Windows. Okay.
I mean, is it going to mess up my data if I do that? I've never downgraded. I've only gone forward. So, but I just don't really care for.
I'm really torn here. Windows 8 is better in some ways. I asked my friend Paul Thurrott, who does our Windows podcast. I said, because I like you, it's not even a reliability issue for me. I really don't like the user interface.
Yeah.
And I said, Paul, so let's say I am not going to really be using this touch interface very much. I'm going to use it like I used Windows 7 from the desktop. If I do that, is Windows 8 better? And he said, yes, even if you only use it from the desktop, it's better. Things like we just were talking about, that storage solution. He said, yes, it is better. But now you shouldn't be having problems like that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Adobe Reader doesn't work. I had to tell it to stop checking security systems, and I use Mozy.com for my backup. That doesn't work with it. I've never had these issues before.
You do. It's not unusual when you go to a new operating system, especially when it's a big change like this. And the same thing happened from, let's say, when we moved from XP to Vista, which was a big jump. Vista to Windows 7 wasn't such a big jump because it really was very similar. But going from XP to Vista was a similar kind of massive change. A lot of stuff didn't work. And it's just kind of the way it is. You don't need Adobe Reader. You've got PDF reading built into Windows 8, for instance. The problem So the problem sometimes is that we are attached to the old way of doing things. You can downgrade. You can downgrade. And you won't lose any data as long as you got a Windows 7 disk. The question is, should you? Let's talk more when we come back. It's a very difficult answer. Always rinse the lid immediately after each use. Store with lid removed to allow parts to dry. Rinse drink spout immediately. Rinse. My Contigo. So Glenn was singing the praises of these. These are very sealed. They're thermos, so they keep the. It's got this little button that you press to drink. We were thinking maybe of selling these with the Twit logo on them. What do you think? Like if these are the best thermos coffee holders for driving and stuff. Would you buy one, Nittler? Padre says, yeah. No, it's 2-ply. It's definitely 2-ply. It's not a doer. Too soon after the mugs? Funky Thumb says he has 4. I'll put my coffee in it. We'll try it. There's an air pocket. I think there's an air pocket. Glenn says his coffee stays warm all day. Yeah, the tops are more complicated to clean. I should have washed it first. Oh. Come on. People in China who make this have very clean hands. I've seen them. They wear white gloves when they make these. If it were alcohol, I wouldn't be worried. Our show today brought to you by our friends at Stamps.com. You know Stamps.com is so good. Here it is, my scale. I love my Stamps.com scale. Look at that. So what is Stamps.com? It's for a pro mailer. Now, if you just, once in a while you mail your Christmas cards, this is not for you. But if you're in a business where you send a lot of mail, maybe bills, you send out bills or mailers or whatever. If you're in a business where you sell stuff like mugs or handmade items on Etsy, that kind of thing, Stamps.com is a lifesaver. This is a real pro tool for people who do serious fulfillment. First of all, you don't have to go to the post office anymore. They're raising rates. That would mean normally you'd have to go get stamps. You don't have to do that. You go to Stamps.com, and you got the scale, you got your computer, your printer, no postage meter. You're always printing the right postage. You print right on the envelope. I mean, it really is great. It's your logo, your company's logo's on it. It takes the address from the website, Amazon, PayPal, or Etsy, or eBay, or from your QuickBooks or your address book. Prints it right on there so you don't have to retype stuff. I just love Stamps.com. And with a scale, you never pay a penny more than you have to for postage. Plus, you never have to go to the post office. The mail carrier comes and gets it, no matter how big the package. I want you to try it. We got a no-risk trial offer, $110 bonus value. If you go to Stamps.com, click the microphone, and use the offer code TECHGUY, 2 words, $55 in postage coupons that you can use over your first few months membership, your free digital scale that I just showed you, the $5 supply kit, and a 4-week trial. It's worth $110 when you go to Stamps.com and use our promo code TECHSpaceGuy. If you do a lot of this stuff, you really want to know about Stamps.com. Johnny Jet coming up. Oh, there he is. Hi, Johnny Jet.
How are you? Can you hear me okay, or is my hotel connection not good enough?
Well, we'll see. It's good so far.
Okay,
It is always good till I get you on the air. Then it fails. Here we go. He's sticking in the little audio from my my Vine post. Giving my girlfriend the tickets to the Super Bowl. She kind of got excited. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Johnny Jet is here. He is our travel guy. JohnnyJet.com. All right, Johnny, let me see. Where are you? Show us out the window.
It's probably going to be blown out.
Is it snowy? Oh, you see, I thought you were in Toronto because the last picture I saw was snow. That's not Toronto. There's a beach. There's the ocean. Are you in San Diego?
No, I was in Toronto last night, but now I'm in... Where am I, actually? I'm in Marco Island, Florida.
Whoa,
at the Marriott.
Do you ever get thrown? I mean, this is one of the things about jet travel that's so weird. You could be in a freezing cold, and it was really cold in Toronto. It was,
oh, my God.
It was like 17 below zero. Literally.
Minus 17.
Minus 17. Oh, Celsius. Okay, well, that's not as bad, but still.
Yeah.
Minus 17, and now you're in the sunshine and the beach.
That's right. I just came in from the Everglades, did an airboat tour for the first time there. It was awesome.
Oh, that's like I watch TV shows and they'd be taking those. They have big fans in your back.
Yeah,
you blow
they're so
around.
loud.
Was it cool?
But I saw at least 200 gators.
As long as you saw them and didn't get surprised by a gator. Oh my. Johnny Jet here every week to talk about using the internet to simplify, to speed travel. Super Bowl, a good example, Johnny Jet. I went to your website.
Are you going?
Yeah.
Oh,
but I got to tell you, they do a terrible thing. Because I went to the website, and there was no hotel within 20 miles of the Superdome. Okay. And the problem is that the NFL and packagers and tour guides, and so they book up every hotel room in town. And you have to buy a package.
You do, and they get you big time.
So, yeah. Is there any way around that when it's a big event?
You got to go. You know what? I went to the Kentucky Derby one time, and it was the same exact thing. A hotel that normally cost $100 a night was going for $3,000 a night. And so the only way around it is to rent a house or an apartment, especially
Airbnb. Have you ever used Airbnb?
Of course, yes, for sure. I did it during the Olympics in August.
In London.
Yeah.
Very smart.
You can sleep on someone's couch also, through Airbnb, or you can go to couchsurfing.com and you can sleep on someone's couch for free. You don't even need money to travel.
I bet I could have said, hey, I'm Leo Laporte, the tech guy. May I sleep on your couch?
Oh, even if you weren't who you are, you could still do it. That's the nice thing about it. But Airbnb,
couchsurfing.com, that's hysterical.
Oh, we should talk about couchsurfing.com. They have over 5 million. That's not it, I don't think, is it?
It's couchsurfing, yeah. New Orleans area.
Yeah, that's it.
2,200 hosts in the New Orleans area. Wow, look at this. So if you're going in the last minute for the Super Bowl, you could sleep on somebody's couch. Airbnb is a similar. Now, how safe is this, Johnny? I mean, am I going to find a weirdo's house? And I mean,
you're supposedly been vetted through a friend. Like you can't join or you can't host people unless you've been, approved by a friend, which seems, you can get around that. But you don't hear too many horror stories.
No,
I've heard a couple. Airbnb, I hear more about. Especially like in New York City where they're renting apartments that are not allowed to be rented.
Right.
And you can get in trouble for that. So you need to do your homework on that to make sure that, the apartment that you're in, the person's allowed to rent.
Brittany, Nathan, and Twain Schroyer are renting their place in New Orleans. So's Jack and Andres and Matt and David. Look at all of these.
Yeah.
A lot of people are for Mardi Gras.
But I don't think that's even for money. Is that for money? Couch surfing.
Here's a guy. Here's a guy who'll give you a massage too. That's nice. Okay, I'm not going to stay on his couch.
But they don't. But Airbnb, it costs money. But couch surfing, you can stay there.
Very interesting. Isn't that interesting? So, and they have, by the way, reviews and references and sofa. Sofa, not sofa.
Yeah, it's kind of like eBay, where you can tell if someone is legitimate or not.
Right.
They have better ratings.
Then the other problem is apparently there are a few people from San Francisco going to New Orleans. Finding a flight from San Francisco to New Orleans wasn't easy.
Well, Southwest added some more flights on that.
Oh, see, I should have paid attention. I should have asked Johnny
and JetBlue added flights from Baltimore.
Aha.
See that? They got a little
Ravens
rival
fans
going right there.
Yeah. So, I should.
But fly. If you're going to go to New Orleans and you want to save money,
yep.
Same thing when I went to get the Kentucky Derby. You go to the alternate airports.
Don't go to the big one. Don't go to MSY. You end up in Baton Rouge and take a bus.
Yeah, take a bus or rent a car.
Right.
And Houston's not far.
Right. See, Johnny Jet's the king. I should have your phone number. I should just call you before I do this stuff. Well, we did. We bought a package, and you know what? We got a good deal on.
Did you?
Well, no. we got a place to stay near the Superdome, like 2 blocks from the Superdome, so I'm happy.
You're going to have the best time.
I can't wait.
I wish I was going with you.
I know. Have you ever been?
I've been. Actually, I went when the Giants beat the New England Patriots a few years ago.
That was a great
Best game ever.
Great game.
My cousin called me up that morning, and it was the first time I ever flew without checking a bag, not checking a bag, without even having a bag in my hand.
You had a toothbrush in your front pocket.
No, I didn't. I didn't even have that. I literally just flew from L.A. to Phoenix.
I'm on my way.
And after the game, I went back.
Wow.
That's the best way to travel.
But it's what you've always said, which is you got to be more. You're going to pay the most if you're going and you're inflexible. Like, I have to see the game. You're always better off if you're footloose and fancy free. You can go anytime, anywhere, wherever they get a deal.
That's where you get the deal.
Yeah.
So I think we're probably going to run out of time to talk about the sites I was going to talk about.
Go ahead. No, we got time. I'm sorry.
But Couchsurfing is a great. I mean, that's a perfect site to highlight because I think a lot of travelers should know about it.
Yeah.
And same thing with Airbnb. And one of the best ways to experience a city is by renting an apartment.
Well, I have a friend who uses Airbnb, Sarah Lane. She works on our network and swears not at it. Swears for it. She loves it. And she, for instance, when she goes to France every December for the Le Web conference, I always stay in a hotel, and she and her boyfriend always stay in beautiful places in Paris. And I'm so jealous. It's always less expensive.
And you get to cook. You get to cook. So you go shopping like a local.
Well, you're like a local.
Money
That's
on
right.
the bills,
Yeah.
and you literally, you do live like a local. I mean, and you get to meet your neighbors. When I rented the place in London, the guy whose apartment it was, left the keys where he said he was going to leave them, and he left a bottle of wine for me, a nice note.
Isn't that nice?
And and you treat the place like it's your own.
A house in Copenhagen, $225. 35,000 cities, 192 countries. It's probably too late to go to New Orleans, but I wish I'd thought of that beforehand.
I would think so, but you never know it.
Couch
surfing, I would think that you would get a place to sleep on a couch.
Yeah.
And by the way, couch surfing's not just the couch. Sometimes people have a spare bedroom, so you can stay in their bedroom or their spare bedroom, not their bedroom.
I'll stay in. No, there's a ton of stuff. Now, it's a little pricey, $688 a night, $519 a night. But if you couldn't...
It's cheaper than the package.
It's cheaper than the package and probably more fun, right? Here's one that's 5 minutes from the Superdome. It's an entire home in New Orleans in the 7th Ward. Look at that. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have done that.
That way, and you have the whole house, so you bring all your buddies.
Right.
So it's not like you all need to have your own hotel room.
Right.
So that's how you save money. If you're by yourself, you're not going to necessarily, a hotel might be cheaper. But, a quick example, I was at a conference in Orlando, and I thought I was getting a deal for like $140 a night. Actually, I'll talk about it next time. I hear the music going.
It wasn't a great deal, I guess. JohnnyJet.com, everybody. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Thanks for having me.
You could keep talking on the podcast.
Okay.
That was the end of the radio show. So what happened?
So anyway, I found this great deal, and then I went to the party, and I was kind of poking my friends at it, kind of bragging.
Look at my
deal.
Look at this deal I got. Yeah.
And I'm like, where are you staying? And they're like, oh, we rented a house, 4 bedrooms, pool, barbecue, garage. We don't have to pay for parking. $450 for the week.
Wow.
So 4 guys, it was like less than $100 a person when I was paying $140 a night.
Wow.
And I thought I was getting a good deal.
I'm looking at this. This is beautiful.
Then the guy invited me over for a barbecue. So it made me even feel worse.
I wish I'd thought of this. Thing is, I've never done it before, so I'm a little nervous about it, right? But you say it's okay.
No, it's totally legitimate. Yeah. And you have nothing to worry about.
Look at all of these. Now, some of these are very expensive.
Well, they're bumping it up because of the Super Bowl.
Sure. And I'm sure when it's the Jazz Festival and when it's the Mardi Gras, same thing. These guys, and that's the advantage. When you're going to a touristy area, these people probably do it all the time, right?
Yeah.
So they're used to it. Now, this is nice. Look at this. Look at this cute little place. This is minutes from the Super Bowl. It's a whole house. Look at that.
Yeah, and during the Olympics and during the Super Bowl, you can't find anything.
Right.
You can't find any hotels.
They even have a piano.
You can find places to rent.
Wow.
Because most locals don't even want to be.
They don't want to be there.
Yeah.
They don't want to be
there.
there.
They don't want traffic.
Yeah.
But by the way, before I go, I'm at the Marriott, and I've just happened to look that my key has a QR code.
Look at that. Point scan free download. Yeah, you're going to see those everywhere.
That's the first time I've ever seen that, and I think that's pretty clever.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Johnny,
I'm glad that this time
I don't even know what you wanted to talk about. What did you want to talk about?
I was going to talk about a different hotel site.
Okay.
We'll do it next week.
Next time. You're the best, Johnny.
No, you're the best, man. And actually, will I be talking to you next week while you're in New Orleans?
No, you'll be talking to Scott Wilkinson.
Okay.
He's great. You're going to love him. He does the same thing you do on home theater. He'll be in studio. It'll be just like doing it with me. We'll call you via Skype, all of that.
All right, good. Well,
you'll like Scott.
I won't be in Florida. I'll be somewhere else.
You can quiz him. All right, John. Thanks.
All right, take care. Good luck.
Bye-bye. He's the best. You're right. We should totally give him his own show. He's fun. No, Sarah knows to be Airbnb people too, I'm pretty sure. I think it's a great thing. I wish I just didn't think of it. It's too late now. I'm committed. But we probably could have saved a lot of money. What we did is we bought a package deal from Vivid Seats. That includes the seats, NFL experience, one of the big dinners, and hotel and all of that. So I kind of like this. They say you can just see it's perfect seal. Watch, it just dumps out on the keyboard. I'm not gonna tell you how much, because then I'll be embarrassed. I didn't do it for me. I'm not gonna tell you how much. It's embarrassing. It was a lot. It's for Lisa's birthday. Her birthday is the 29th. And it is literally like there's no. You saw her scream. There's nothing better for her. She's been a Niners fan since 5th grade. She's never been in the Super Bowl.
9:32 July, read Leo.
Have a key 'cause I don't have a door. I'm couch surfing and I'm not taking calls.
I like that. I like that. I'll give you a massage. You get a couch and a massage. That's a good deal. I think I'll pass on that one. 8888. Ask Leo. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Johnny Jet's website is JOHNNYJET.com, and really a must visit for a great travel tips. Actually, I'm glad we could talk about it, Airbnb. I wish I'd thought of that. What a great way to go visit a place, especially on during the Olympics, the Super Bowl, the Kentucky Derby. Live like a local and save a lot of money. What a great idea. So we were talking, and I apologize, Mary, you're very patient. We were talking to Mary in Huntington Beach about a very, I think, a very fundamental question, which is, I've got a computer. It's got Windows 8 on it. I love Windows 7. I'm not thrilled with Windows 8. Mary, was this a computer built for Windows 8?
No, off the shelf.
You upgraded it to Windows 8?
No, I take that back. Yes, I guess it was. I bought it from Staples in December.
But it's not a touch. It's not a touch screen.
It is not a touch screen.
So the first Windows 8 machines were not touch screens. They were basically Windows 7 laptops that came with Windows 8. Okay. So it would be safe to put Windows 7 back on, and everything would work almost certainly. Okay. So if you make a backup of your data, you're careful to make sure you back up everything. Going back to 7 is going to be fine. That computer in particular is going to be fine. Now, going forward, as people are buying computers, they're getting touch screens, and they're getting computers that were purpose-built for Windows 8. They'll probably still work, but you may lose some functionality. The touch screen might not work, for instance.
Well, this does not have a touch screen, so it's not going to...
It's a Windows... What it is a Windows 7 laptop. You got it early enough that it's a Windows 7 laptop, and they swapped out the operating system.
Okay. So I'm not going to wreck anything if
I think you're going to have no problems at all. Okay. My caveat would be to newer users, if you get a new computer that really is a Windows 8 computer with a touchscreen, then I might not want to go back. The other thing you might want to try, Mary, is just trying to make it work.
Well, I feel like I've done that, but I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. I'm not illiterate here. I'm not advanced. I'm probably an intermediate, computer person, but...
Well, you're not alone. I can't. I tried. Now, I'm sophisticated. I've used every versions of Windows since Windows 3.0, and I was very happy with Windows 7. And I'm just continually frustrated by just strange choices in Windows 8. I can use it, but Microsoft just made some choices that I just disagree with, and there are things of frustration. I don't have you're really having an unusual level of frustration. Stuff's not working. Stuff's breaking.
It is. I have to reboot. I mean, and I would turn off my computer every night. It just always ran better that way. But like right now, my email's not even downloading for some reason, and this has happened more than once.
It's very frustrating.
It is frustrating. My printer sometimes, only prints half the page, and I've never had these issues before. So I'm just kind of blaming it on Windows 8. I don't know if that's truly the problem. Maybe it's just me, but...
Well, I don't know either. It's not you. Let's nip that in the bud. Don't blame yourself. But it may be...
I do own a copy of Windows 7, so I just think that, you know what, I can just wipe this out and go back to what was working for me 2 months ago.
I see no reason not to.
Okay.
I mean, I will say Windows 8 is, by all reports, better in some ways, more secure, better under the hood. But, when they say more secure, I'm not sure I buy that either, because Windows 7 has been out for several years, has been patched, has been tried and true. It's gone through the fire and is probably more secure because of it. Anytime you get a new operating system, you're going to have these issues, and you're going to have new security issues. So you might even be safer with Windows 7, to be honest.
Okay.
So format the drive. You're going to want to start from scratch. Yes. Put that Windows 7 disk on it. That computer, I guarantee you, was sold as a Windows 7 machine. If it came out in September, it was sold as a Windows 7 machine. And then all they did is they said, oh, Windows 8, we better put Windows 8 on it now.
Okay.
And that may even be the source of some of the difficulties, is that it isn't really a Windows 8 computer.
And I was wondering that.
Yeah, it really isn't. It's too, it took them 3 or 4 months before the real Windows 8. We're starting to see them now. Mm-hmm. The real Windows 8 machines. Even Microsoft is it won't ship its Windows 8 Surface until February 5th. It just, you know, it took a little while, and I think that those machines will probably work better with Windows 8. Certainly, having touch with Windows 8 makes it a lot easier to use.
Yeah, and I don't have that.
No, you like 7, stick with it.
Okay.
And the good news is, in my opinion, Microsoft understands that, and Windows 7 will be around for a long time. Because what if you're a business? Think about this. You're a business. You got 50,000 employees, 50,000 desks, 50,000 copies of Windows 7. Actually, in many cases, you're still using Windows XP. But let's assume you're a forward-thinking business. And you've got people trained, and they're using Windows 7, and it's effective, it's secure, you've got all the processes in place. Is there any incentive for you to go to Windows 8? Absolutely not. There's huge disincentive. You've got to retrain people. There's going to be immense frustration. Stuff's not going to work. Even if you were to buy 50,000 new machines, you probably would want to stick with Windows 7. Business is going to ignore Windows 8 for many years. Some say they'll skip it entirely, just as they did Vista. I wouldn't be surprised. So the good news is if you want to stay with Windows 8, you're in good company. Bill is in Tidewater, Virginia. Hi, Bill. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hi, Leo.
Hey.
I'm very envious of you and Lisa going to the Super Bowl.
I shouldn't tout that. I know it's going to make people jealous, but I've never gone. I've always wanted to go, and it is our 49ers.
Well, I'm a Virginia Tech grad, and we've gone to 3 Sugar Bowls, and I just love New Orleans, and that's why I'm mainly envious is because it's in New Orleans.
Isn't it a great city?
Right, and I'm surprised Johnny Jett didn't recommend the Voodoo Hostel.
Oh, I like it. Sounds dangerous. Sounds scary.
Make a new movie out of it. You ought to maybe try to stay a day or two after because all the hotels will be available and you can pick out a good one.
Then it's cheap. Then it's cheap. No, we're going to be there 5 days. I'm very excited. We're going Wednesday. I'll be there through Monday. I love New Orleans. Just a chance to be in New Orleans is going to be wonderful.
That's great.
Yeah.
My question today is about, I saw the Nexus 7, evidently you can get a broadband chip from AT&T or T-Mobile.
Yes, they've started adding that. Yeah.
And I want to be able to carry the Internet around with me. And it says it's unlocked, so I don't know, I guess if you later change a plan or if you have to buy it with the SIM card and be tied into a plan, or can I get it unlocked?
If you get it from Google, you'll be getting it unlocked. If you get it from Verizon or AT&T, almost certainly you'll get it locked. So Google sells its, and I'm just presuming this based on my experiences with the Nexus, Google sells its phones unlocked. But if you get them from a carrier, then they subsidize it and they get it locked. And you'll see there's a difference in price. Now, the nice thing about the Nexus 7, it's not expensive.
Right.
Now, remember, though, there's 2 different broadband technologies. There's LTE on, and then there's and then there's everything else. And so you want to make sure you're getting LTE. And if you get Verizon LTE, it's not going to work with AT&T LTE. So having it unlocked is maybe not such a huge deal anyway.
Right.
Because of the frequencies it supports. So read carefully. But I think if you get it from Google, if it's even available from Google.
Well, yeah, they show it for $299 with 32 gigabyte. And they show only AT&T and then T-Mobile is the ones that it's...
yeah, okay, so what it means is it's GSM, it's a SIM card. It's probably, I don't know if it's LTE. It probably isn't. If it's on T-Mobile, it's not for sure. But that might not be an issue for you. It's not LTE, that's fine. And it's unlocked. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Yeah, it's HSPA Plus. Yeah, HSPA Plus for AT&T and T-Mobile. I'd love to tell you about Perfection Photo Scanners. You know, that's Epson, a brand you know I like and respect. Now, I noticed they sell it for T-Mobile and AT&T separately. Oh, that's because they're giving you a subsidy. So, what you'd want says unlocked. The issue here might be just the subsidy. Yeah, if you get the T-Mobile one, it's not subsidized. And I bet, and then the other question will be: is this? Oh, I see. It comes with a T-Mobile SIM, so that's fine. They're unlocked. Yeah, and they're available. I like the Nexus 7 a lot.
Epson built to perform, and Epson has a special offer for Leo listeners. Go to the Epson.com website and order any.
Show today brought to you by ShareFile. Let me show you my ShareFile account. I use this all the time now. Just log in. First of all, one thing you'll note when I log into ShareFile, it has my company logo. Makes it look very pro, right? And it's there too. And when I share a file with ShareFile, so what? I should explain. So, are you emailing files in business? You don't want to do that. Not secure, bounce back issues. It might not even be compliant if you're in a medical field, for instance. It's not HIPAA compliant. ShareFile is compliant with all government regulations, all industry standards. It's secure, it's encrypted. Let me show you how this would work. Let's say I want to send a file. Now, you could do this. There's an Outlook plugin, so it makes it very easy if you want to do it with Outlook. But I can also do it through the web interface. They do have desktop apps. In fact, it synchronizes. So let me, oh, it's not running. Oh, there it is. So there's my ShareFile app. Actually, this is a dashboard widget. Let's minimize all this. And I can launch the ShareFile sync tool, too. So I have these two folders, KFI and Premiere. These are my radio show folders, right? And then they're automatically synced. And then if I want to send a file, I can do it either from this desktop widget, or for ease of use, I'm going to show it to you with the web interface, or I can even use the Outlook plugin. But so what I'll do is I'm going to click this Macworld title. Let's say I want to send this to a radio station. Press the send button. I also do this so you can see the features. I can just send it right from there, or I can get a link from my email. And these are all the features. Download access expires never, or after a year, 3 months, a month, a day. Number of downloads per user. So I could say, look, he can get this for 1 day and download it once. And he has to log in. Or I can make it very loose. In fact, I usually do that. I say, no. But now I press the Send Files button, and I'm going to get a link. And this link I can put in my email or text him or whatever. It's a unique link. And let me just paste it in the browser and show you what happens. That's what he's going to get, or she. A link to the file, a download button, my logo, very clean, very simple. They don't have to sign up for ShareFile or anything. This is the way to share files, large files, gigabyte and gigabyte files without bounce back, securely encrypted, private. And by the way, every file that I synchronize with the ShareFile sync is available to me as cloud storage always. So I can look and log into any system to see these folders anytime. I want you to try it free for 30 days. Go to sharefile.com. Sharefile.com. And at the top, you'll see radio listeners. Click here. Click that green button up at the top and use the offer code TECHGUY, one word, and start your free trial. Notice, by the way, when you start that free trial that they invite you to select an industry. That's because they'll customize this for a huge variety of industries, from legal to medical to food service to advertising to audio. It doesn't limit your features. It just gives you some additional customization. Very nicely done. Sharefile.com. Offer code TECHGUY, one word. Try it free for 30 days.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Today. Very happy with it. I use it instead of the kind of commonly known consumer service that I used to use. And boy, that was not working. Grog, welcome to Scott and Bob, the voice of Porky Pig. Like for real? Wait a minute, let's hear it.
This is Premier Channel 7. Leo Laporte.
Hi, folks. What's going on? There's a lovely spinach salad here, and I'm making the dog crazy.
The dog's going nuts.
That's cool. That's great. You do it for Looney Tunes? Wow. What a good gig. How long have you been doing that?
23 years.
Oh, a long time. Did you replace, was it Mel Blanc doing it originally? So you were his successor?
Yes.
Wow. What a cool gig. Were you doing cartoon voices before that?
Yeah, I actually got into the business to be Porky Pig when I was a kid.
Like as a kid, you did it, and you said, whenever Mel Blanc dies, I'm taking that gig. When he retires. Please make yourself at home, both of you, Scott. Whose voices do you do? Now watch that camera. You might want to scooch over a little bit to your right. Wow, that's cool. And that's a full-time job.
Premier Channel 7. Leo.
We're doing a series right now.
So you do it for it's television series?
We're doing the Looney Tunes show right now.
Yeah.
But I'll do games. I'll do
Fun. Do you do other voices too?
Sure. I do a lot of stuff for Disney, Pixar. I'm Luke Skywalker for the Star Wars games.
He's Luke Skywalker. Let me hear Luke Skywalker. Come here. Can you? You're probably not allowed to do Luke Skywalker.
Well, yeah. Okay.
So like Luke, I am your father, Luke.
Oh, that'll be too loud. But see, there's pre-Jedi Luke, which is like this, and then he gets the Force, and he becomes post-Jedi Luke. Yeah. So he's just a little younger. Yeah. But I can do
Oh, what fun! No, I am your father, Luke. How fun! So when you do that, you go in a studio, and do they? I know how you do it, but I'm gonna for the audience. They show this on this. Oh, some stuff like Pixar, you do it ahead of time. They animate it later.
For 99%.
But cartoons I've seen. Oh, maybe that's because that's looping. Or anime. Yeah, or anime. Translation. He's Porky Pig. Do you do Tweety Bird?
I talked to you. I called. I just sent you an MP3 for your 100.
I remember that.
You paid me a compliment. You said, "Wait, that's not the real guy. He's pretty good."
He is the real guy. I thought put it that.
You're tuned to Premier Channel.
Yeah, I should get some recordings.
The tech guy.
Then I have to pay him. He's AFTRA. Oh, really? They speed it up 10%? We can do that. We have the means.
There you go.
Wow, that's really what a great gig. What fun. A lot of people, myself included, as kids, you learn the voice, you do the voice. Oh yeah. And my favorite is Droopy Dog.
You are tuned to Premier.
The Droopy Dog.
Report the tech guy. We'll begin at 6 minutes past the hour.
But you can also do it just when you're young. Yeah. It's fun to do those voices, but I never had to do it for real, like consistently. That's the problem, is it veers left and right. Wow, that's so cool. That is so cool. I want you to do, we're going to have you go, netcast you love from people you trust. Oh, how fun. Yeah, we should interview you for one of our shows. It'd be fun to talk about how that's all done. What Pixar voices have you done? A lot of incidental. Yeah. Right. They get the movie stars to do that. Yeah. Well, a good day to you. Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. And it's time to talk about computers and the internet and cell phones and camcorders and MP3 players and home theater and all that jazz. 8888 Ask Leo is the phone number. 888-827-5536. Toll free from anywhere in the U.S. Outside the U.S., you can still call. If you're watching or listening on the internet, we've got that toll free number is U.S. only. But if you use Skype or something like that, Skype out, some sort of VoIP solution, SIP solution, all of that will work and won't cost you anything because it's toll free. 8888 Ask Leo. Marvette in the chat room is asking me a good question. At the end of this month, Windows 8 goes up in price. It is $40 right now to buy Windows 8 upgrade, but at the end of the month, Windows 8 Pro theoretically goes to $200. Now, Microsoft's not going to say anything until January 31st at midnight. But my prediction is they're going to say, oh, guess what? We're going to extend that offer forever because nobody's buying it. It's just not selling well. But obviously, they're not going to tell you that now because what they're hoping is there'll be this rush. They've sold, this was from the Microsoft Quarterly Report this week, they've sold 60 million copies of Windows 8. It's interesting because they did the same exact thing, 20 million a month with Windows 7 the whole time. And it seems like such a round number, such an even number. And, of course, it is. Microsoft can completely manipulate the number because the vast majority of licenses are sold not to individuals, onesie-twosie, but in great clumps to businesses. And Microsoft can essentially choose to book that sale anytime it wants. So it's a phony number. It's 60 million, and they aren't qualifying it as to Is it 60 million to the channel? Is it 60 million to end users? Is it 60 million installed? They're just saying 60 million. The world knows, and I think it's not anything surprising to say, computer sales are down. Apple Macintosh sales are down significantly. Apple announced that in its quarterly reports. PC sales are down significantly. The question is why, and I don't think it's Windows 8. I mean, it's Macintosh sales are down too. It's not Windows 8. There are a number of reasons. One, because that computer you bought 3, 4, 5 years ago that you would in normal circumstance be replacing works just fine. When you bought it 4 years ago, it had 4 gigs of RAM, 2 gigahertz processor. It's pretty darn fast, certainly fast enough to do anything you want to do still today. Unless you've worn it out somehow, there's no reason to get a new one. And, of course, we're going through tough times economically, so it wouldn't be much of a surprise that people would pull back on non-necessary purchases like a new computer. And finally, we're in, as Apple and others have been quick to point out, a post-PC era. People are buying smartphones and tablets in droves. Those sales are going up. They're a lot less expensive. And for most people, they do plenty. They do plenty. So PC sales down. Sales of Windows, very consistent. I don't know if that's meaningful. Microsoft has already said, yeah, we're going to raise the prices January 31st to $200. We'll see. I'm skeptical. I predict at the very last minute, Microsoft will blink and say, yeah, we'll give you another month. And then another month. And then another month. However, if you want to really want Windows 8, and that's part of the problem is most people don't buy Windows standalone. They don't buy a disk with Windows on it. They buy a new computer, and it comes with Windows 8. And if you're not buying a new computer, you're not buying a new version of Windows. So it probably is meaningless, this bump. Maybe one of the reasons Microsoft can do it because nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's, who's buying Windows by itself? Just a small minority. Let's go to line 2. I don't know what your name is. What's your name? Where are you calling from, line 2? Hello, this is you.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
Hi, my name's Jonathan. I'm from Anaheim.
Hi, Jonathan. Welcome to the show. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm 12 years old, and I'm going to be going to a convention with my friends.
What convention are you going to?
It's VidCon. It's in the Anaheim Convention
Yeah,
Center.
VidCon's fun.
Yeah.
Do you make videos?
I do. Not popular, but I do video game commentaries on the internet.
That's boy, in your generation, I notice, and forgive me for calling you a kid, but I'm going to, just because us old folks think anybody under 50 is a kid. So a lot of kids these days are making their own game commentaries. This is very popular. What game do you do commentary on?
I play PC games like Minecraft and Counter-Strike, games like that.
Well, you go on YouTube, and there's a lot of Minecraft commentary videos, a lot of Call of Duty and Counter-Strike commentary videos. It's very popular. And it's a lot of fun, isn't it? Are you telling people how to do it?
No, I'm actually playing mini games within the game or doing a survival thing called a Let's Play, and I just give commentary while I'm playing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know about Twitch probably, right?
Yeah, I'm not there yet. Right now, I'm just kind of getting my feet wet. And,
Twitch is a very interesting idea that I find fascinating, twitch.tv. The idea is you can be playing a game. Many games are starting to build this into the game and stream it, broadcast as you play with commentary. And, of course, the goal ultimately, and you see it if you go to twitch.tv now on the front page, is for people to watch professional gaming on TV. And there's this great dream that someday it will be as big as the NFL. And you know what? It might be. I used to kind of poo-poo it, like, who wants to watch people play video games? Turns out it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now we can watch the Iron Squid live finals for Iron Squid 2 from Paris on twitch.tv and see what they're doing. This is and you can also watch them play StarCraft 2. That's cool. Wings of Liberty. Is that out? Wow. Oh, that's what this is. Wow.
Today I want to ask you about a camera that I need for VidCon.
Okay.
I do what's known as vlog. And what I need is a video camera that shoots HD, and it has an audio hookup for a wireless mic.
Ah, excellent. So oh, now we're going to get an ad. Isn't this interesting? They're putting an ad in the middle of the game. So I'm watching a StarCraft game, and all of a sudden there's a Snickers ad.
Yeah, they do that a lot.
Well, they got to make money somehow. It's a little annoying if you're in the middle. It's probably random, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty random at like every 5 seconds to every 5 minutes.
Ah, it's really annoying. I want to see what's going on in the game. Do they
Yeah, they sometimes shoot it.
I'm going to see if there's commentary going on. And we're just listening. We're just listening to the game. Huh. I'd love to hear some commentary like, wow, he just made a good move. Watch out. That's really going to be a problem for the Zerg. It would be it'd be fun. So you want to, well, by the way, a lot of people now are just using their smartphones.
Yeah, I only have an Android, and it's 8-megapixel camera, but what you need is something that could be hooked up to what's known as a Fig rig that my friend made, and we're going to be like talking to the camera with a mic on our shirt.
So you're holding you want to hold the camera out on a stick, in effect.
Yeah, practically.
Practically. Well, first, one thing you should know about is something called Beach Tech, BeachTek. The Beach Tech is a device that takes a mini jack output, which is very common on video cameras for audio, for microphones, I should say, mini jack input, and turns it into a XLR input suitable for professional mics.
Wow.
Yeah. And I use a Beach Tech all the time. And what happens with the Beach Tech is you can now use good mics and get really good audio going to the mini jack. So hang on. I'm going to tell you a couple of camcorders that will have the mini jack on it that you can plug the Beach Tech into in just a second. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Yeah, I like the Canon Vixias. And you say the HF M500, $500. So it records to ST.
Winter weather can really
impact the way we do business. And this has my Vixia has a mini jack. I'm sure all of them do now, but let me just check. Audio. Does this have a mini jack in? And Scott, do you work in the business or are you just Bob's friend? I'm an actuary. You're an actuary. Very similar to being Porky Pig.
I love GoToMe. I insist on it.
That's fun. And are you on vacation up here? Oh, neat. For Samantha? Or oh, cool. That's great. That's really neat. A lot of people have dreams.
Dream on.
Wings of Liberty has been out for a while. Oh, it's the Heart of the Swarm that's the new one. Okay, all right. Sorry, pardon me. You don't want a wireless, but I'll tell them why in a second. 3.5 millimeter diameter stereo mini jack. That's it. The Vixia HF M500 is probably the right one. I'll have to ask him his budget, though. Oh. You missed the fun. I gave Lisa the Super Bowl tickets. And she screamed. She was screaming. Yeah, she was screaming. I put it on Vine.
If you use Windows, you need not 32.
So it's a good. I mean, doing a commercial voiceovers, if you're one of the guys, is a good business. I imagine that cartoons are just as lucrative, just as good a job. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Residuals. Get those checks. Stop working and just get checks. Yeah, baby. No. You know what? It's interesting you choose Porky Pig as your But that's the one. Can't get better than that.
Well, except for a couple, like a year or two ago, they were looking for a new Mickey Mouse, and he was ecstatic because he loved
Nah, that's hard on your voice. Ha ha. A lot. Ha.
It's actually very raspy.
Yeah. It's hard to do Mickey. Goofy wouldn't be so hard. But who would be the? What would be the? Bugs would be a big voice. All the Mel Blanc voices would be the ones. Yosemite Sam, because he's gonna. I'll say. Yeah, that's hard. Elmer Fudd would be fun. Do you do Elmer? Who does Elmer? That was not Mel Blanc. Oh yeah.
But Mel got sole screen credit, so everyone thought it was him.
Oh, that's so funny. Boy, he was amazing.
He was amazing.
Probably couldn't get you to do That's All, folks, because that's probably trademarked. You can do it. I can't use it, but you could do it. Could you do This is CNN? Well, wait a minute. No, Yosemite Sam sounds like Foghorn Leghorn, doesn't he? Not really? Foghorn the Southern, huh? Yeah. Be hard. Donald Duck was Disney. Daffy was Warner Brothers. I didn't know that. Can you do Roadrunner?
That was actually an animator.
Phoebe.
It was an animator.
I interviewed Chuck Jones. He was an amazing. In fact, somewhere I have an autographed Chuck Jones book. Yeah, really neat guy. He was a sweetheart.
Hey, Leo. Leo, can
Yeah.
you give me a go-to-meeting billboard here?
Whatever you want.
Thank you.
I'm at your disposal.
In Roadrunner voice.
Beep, beep. I should get you to do all my commercials. That's a good idea. The voice of Porky Pig is in studio today. Bob is, what's your last name? Can I say your last name? Bob Bergen? The voice of Porky Pig. Wouldn't it be good if you, like, you could go to meeting? That would be fun. Oh, you have a website? What's your website? Let's spike your website.
BobBergen.com.
BobBergen. BERGEN.com. All right. Yeah, it's kind of fun every once in a while. We have an open studio, so we get all sorts of strange people in here. And it's kind of fun. We'll get a little Porky Pig later on. You're number 2 for the voice of Porky Pig on Google. Number 2 must be Mel Blanc's number 1. There's only been 2 Porky Pigs, right? There were some sneaky ones in the middle, non-union Porky Pigs. All right, we're talking to Jonathan. He is a videographer and a gamer and 12 years old. What's your budget for this video camera, Jonathan?
Anything, mostly $300. That's
okay.
Kind of like my limit.
What you're going to look for is a video camera. Oh, did you want wireless or wired mics?
Preferably a wireless mic.
Yeah, no. Trust me. It's such a pain, and it's so much more expensive. If you can go wired, I know it seems annoying to have the wire between you and the camera, and you're worried about tripping people at VidCon and stuff like that. But wireless, first of all, you get a lot of interference from everything else that's wireless, and to get a really good wireless mic is thousands of dollars.
Wow.
So don't stick with wired. I don't know if we can do this whole thing for $300. I got to tell you.
Okay, well,
It used to be, you know, Kodak made, remember they made, I don't know if maybe they went bankrupt, maybe they're still making it. They used to make a flip cam ripoff, the Play Touch, yeah, you could still get it, that has a mini jack in it.
Okay.
So, and it looks like a flip cam, but it's under $100.
Okay, well, can it be attached to like a rig?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure it can. Just duct tape will put, no, and what you want something with ideally, yeah, I think you can, because ideally, or the ZI-8, that also. The ideal would be to have a thread, one of those quarter-inch threads in the bottom that would go into a tripod, right? Then you put,
well, yeah.
What are you going to attach it to?
Well, my friend had like PVC piping and made it into an octagon. Right in the middle, he has the thread, the actual screw.
Okay, it's kind of like a tripod, only it's an octagon. Yeah. This is great. I love this. I'm so glad you're doing this. So, I would look and find the Kodak ZI-8 or some sort of inexpensive, and try to keep it under $100 camcorder, because really the video on these is fine, but you want that mini jack coming out, because then you're going to get the Beach Tech rig that's going to take the mini jack, and you're going to be able to use real microphones. And then my recommendation, and they're about $100 each, is the Shure, S-H-U-R-E, SM58. I don't know if we can keep this whole thing under 300, but maybe you can do a Kickstarter project or something. The SM58 is very robust, but the reason you want to use it is background noise drops off very well. So you're gonna get because you're gonna be a noisy conference, right? So these are what I recommend.
Just walking around.
Yeah. Then it goes from a cable to that Beach Tech, so you're going to get excellent audio. You know, the interesting thing is if you have good audio, the video's not as important.
Yeah.
And so getting good audio, it's worth spending, you know, you're going to spend $250 on the mics if you have two. Get one and share it.
Okay.
You know, okay, so that's $125. The Beach Tech's another $100, and then get a $100 you know, flip cam style device, and you'd be in a good shape.
That sounds pretty good to me.
And I think you're going to get great looking video. More importantly, you'll get excellent audio. Where can we see these videos?
Well, my channel's name is AT0M.
AT0M? Like Adam. Yeah?
Yeah. Then FTW.
For the win.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's kind of geek speak. Adam for the win. Adam's little corner of YouTube, is that it?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. I don't have that many videos or views.
Is it called Adam's little corner of YouTube?
Yeah.
Well, that's it then. All right.
Yeah.
Well, good. I'll be looking for your is that where the VidCon videos will go?
Hopefully. And I also use Sony Vegas, so I hope I'll be posting that up right after August when the VidCon is.
Good for you. You're building up a little podcast network of your very own.
Thanks.
Or I wouldn't call it a podcast. I don't know what I'd call it. We need better words.
YouTuber network.
YouTuber network. That's much better. Hey, good luck, Jonathan.
Thanks.
I think this is great. It's one of the things, you know, we used to do seminars for this called GMT, Gear Media Tech. My friend Alex Lindsay and I would do these things. And the idea was to teach people like Jonathan how to do this stuff. YouTube actually has a studio now in L.A. where they bring in the top producers. The problem is you got to be a top producer, and that's not who needs the help on this. It's people like Jonathan. If I were YouTube, I'd look for people like Jonathan and try to, you know, help them, because that's the future. I think it's wonderful. It's amazing what you can do. And, you know, after he spends the money on the, you know, a few $100 on the cameras and the mics and all that, it's free to put it on YouTube. And if he has 1 million views, it doesn't cost him any more or less. By the way, we just found out, Google, among other things, revealed in their quarterly earnings report that Oppo Gangnam Style earned Psy and his record company $8 million from advertising alone for that video. $8 million in advertising, which means Google probably made twice that, right? That's how many people, the last time I checked, it was over 1 billion views. Let me see how many it is on Oppo Gangnam Style. How many millions of or billions of views it is now. Pretty amazing. Actually, good luck finding the original. But that was one of the things he did that was, I think, smart, which is he let anybody who wanted to do a takeoff or a parody or whatever, and there's so many of them. But, you know, he could have sued him and been held on and been all angry about it. But no, he said, go ahead, do it. And what happened is it brought people to the original, and he made $8 million. Not bad. Let me see how many downloads. Now, this is since July, so it's half a year, $8 million, 1.2 billion downloads. Holy camole. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. That's amazing. 1,241,730,977 views. So yeah, do the math. So it's $1 per 1,200 views, huh? So the CPM is roughly $1. That's actually right. It's about 80 cents, 90 cents. That is actually what I've heard as well.
I'm Star.
I can't play that without seeing Father Robert dancing. That's the funny thing. Our show today brought to you by this little thing. This doohickey right here. You know what that is? That's the Xprint server from Lantronix. And this is, if you have an iPad or an iPhone, this is the best little thing. You need one of these. So the idea is you hook this up. Let me find the lower third so you can see what we're talking about here. You hook this up to your USB printer and your network. It's got a little USB plug right here, and it's got a network plug, and it's got a power adapter. That's all. No configuration, no software, anything. But now, all of a sudden, a couple of things happen. First of all, your USB printer is on the network. You can print to it from anything that prints on the network, including the iPad and the iPhone, right from their native print menu. So that printer now prints anything you want to print from your iPad. But it also finds all your other network printers and makes them compatible. So for $99, you're basically, this is an amazing little device. If you find out more at xprintserver.com/twit, you'll actually get free shipping if you use the offer code TWIT. We'll pay the shipping. You don't have to have any special apps. You don't have to have any special software. You don't have to email yourself stuff to print them. Any network or USB printer, in fact, it supports 4,000 printers, brands, automatic setup, open it, plug it in, and print. You configure it if you need to via the web interface. You probably won't, though. It works out of the box great. And I've gotten emails. There's two. This is the home version. That's $99 for up to 8 USB printers and 2 network printers. If you've got a big office, you can get the Office Edition for $199, and that's 8 USB and unlimited network printers and lots of network admin features like Active Directory support and so forth. Just a clever little doohickey. And you know if you need it. xprintserver.com/twit. xprintserver.com/twit. It's from Lantronix. And it's just it's like so clever. Just solves that problem. Did Mel Blanc call you?
I called Mel Blanc.
Really?
Yeah, it's on my website. I bugged the conversation. Go to Cool Clips.
You called him, what'd you tell him? I'm going to be Porky Pig? You got any tips?
I had my mom's telephone in the kitchen on my tape recorder.
Oh, when you were a kid you did this? I got to play this. That is awesome. I'm so glad you recorded it.
I have no idea why. I guess for today.
You know what? This is cool because what it is this
From the historic Pantages Theater in Hollywood, California.
Actually, I've never had those before, but I hear they're very good.
This is the all-new 93.1 Jack FM. It's been years.
Oh, you do Jack voiceovers too. Oh, Jack FM. Let me see. Cool Clips. Is that where it is?
Yeah.
Mel Blanc phone call.
Go in a little bit because I called him 50 times and he wasn't there.
Is this a residence of Mr. Mel Blanc? Yes, it is. Can I talk to him, please? Yes, it is just now. Is there a message? Well, what time do you expect him back? Oh, about 4:30, 5 o'clock. Saw a show called Wonderama, and you mentioned your wife's name was Estelle. Oh, yeah. And I was looking for your name in the phone book, and I saw Mrs. Estelle, and I just figured that was your wife. Yeah. Tell me, have you created any voices, or do you just...
That was nice of him. He talked to you as a kid.
Stamps.com, Leo.
Time to watch. Time to watch. Porky Pig.
That's me, folks.
That's Mel Blanc. Yeah, the original. We're talking about Porky Pig and Mel Blanc because Bob Bergen is in the studio here today. When you were how old? 14? Yeah, 14 years old. He called Mel Blanc at his home, and Mel Blanc took the call after a few attempts.
And during the conversation, he mentioned the name of the studio he was recording at that week.
So he mentioned the name of the studio, and you went to the studio, and one would think, gosh, this guy's going to jail, but in fact, because Mr. Mel Blanc was a very gracious fellow, and kind of he asks you to do any voices and so forth, and he kind of encouraged you. Bob Bergen went on to become the voice of Porky Pig, succeeding Mel Blanc. That is a great story. And I connect it to kids like Jonathan, who are out there, 12 years old, and most 12-year-olds are not doing what he's doing. And you know, the truth is, it doesn't matter if what he does is great or not, but he's doing it. He's going to VidCon. He's bringing cameras. His friend built a rig. He's bringing microphones. He's spending some money, and they're going to do videos, and he's making game commentary videos. And the point is, yeah, you know, you look at it and you go, well, and in fact, I think people do this on YouTube all the time. Oh, you know, as a 12-year-old, what? That's not the point. The point is he's doing it now. And I bet you didn't do the best Porky Pig when you were 12 years old. It's on the tape. BobBergen.com. I'll play a little bit of this. This is Bob recorded this when he was 14, calling Mel Blanc on his mom's phone.
Impressions or impersonations?
That's Mel.
I've got one voice. It's hard to understand.
Yeah.
I can't.
Let me tell you something. In the first place, every voice must be understandable to be in a cartoon. Because if they can't understand you, just like the only one that ever got away with it is Donald Duck.
Yeah.
Donald Duck is one you can't understand. That's a hard one to do. It's all technical. It's like something in the back of the cheeks.
The character has to repeat what he says every time he says something. So that's not good. But if you can create voices.
This is really a great record. It's great that you put it online. I encourage people to do that. You know, I know so many DJs who have interviews in their garage on reel-to-reel tape that they did with Jimi Hendrix, and it's just sitting there and it's slowly flaking off. And I encourage them. There's a guy in Toronto named John Donaby who has a ton of these. I say, John, let me come to your house. I will digitize these, put them online for posterity. Don't try to save them. Don't try to copyright them and figure out a way to sell them. Just give them away, because we have this amazing record. I don't know the name of it, the guy who said this, and I wish I could give him credit, but a well-known fella in the tech industry said history began about 3 years ago, because everything that we do is recorded. I mean, I guess technically probably began at the beginning of the 20th century with film and then television. You know, you could hear Thomas Edison's voice because he invented the recording machine. So technically that's probably where it began. But today, everything's recorded, everything's preserved, everything lives on. And imagine historians 1,000 years from now, there'll be no question about, you know, what President Obama looked like or how he sounded or how he acted. I wish we had that for Lincoln and George Washington. But there will be no question going forward. Arbiter in the chat room says, to quote a comedian, what happens in D.C. stays on YouTube. 8888 ask Leo, back to the phones. Let's see who's been hanging on the longest. Looks like Nathan from Australia. Hi, Nathan. Sorry. Whoops. All right.
Hi.
Oh, yeah, Skype is breaking up on us a little bit, Nathan.
I've got a picture.
Yeah, Nathan, I don't know. I probably kept you on hold too long because Skype is just not working. You know what you might try? If you're using a USB headset, Nathan, unplug it and then plug it back in. Make sure the Skype settings are for that headset. And sometimes, I know some headsets, after an hour, because of the flaw in the chip, they'll start sounding like that. Is it working better now? Try it. No, yeah, we lost him. Golly. He says his computer keeps randomly turning on. His computer keeps randomly turning on. You know, I would check the BIOS setup. You know when it says at the beginning of the boot?
President of the United States.
So does mine, apparently. That actually is the oldest known recording of a United States president, Benjamin Harrison, from 1889. That's when history began, right there. I'll tell you why your computer might be turning on. And you got to, when you first boot up, it says, press F10 or delete or escape or some key, F2, to get into setup. You want to do that. And you want to make sure a couple of things aren't turned on. Wake on LAN. Wake on LAN. That means if there's activity on the network, the computer wakes up. And it's designed for a business where you might have an IT administrator who wants to get to a computer and update it. He sets it up so that Wake on LAN is turned on. That means he sends it a ping. The computer wakes up, and now he can talk to it. Or a timer. Sometimes your BIOS might have a schedule set into it. Or Wake on keyboard or mouse. One of those things is turning it on. And I'm sorry that the Skype wasn't working, because I would love to. I love talking to Australia. Michael in Upland, California, you're next. Hi, Michael. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hey, Leo. Love your show and love those crazy voices you do all the time. I wish you would do a whole show with that one time.
Well, I should get Bob Bergen to do it. He's got the crazy voices.
Yeah, true.
I'd be embarrassed to do a voice with him sitting in the studio.
Oh, well, I think you're just as good.
Yes, that's right.
I have questions about, one of them is my laptop. Had an adapter. It burned out, so I bought a new one online on Amazon. I get those tons of good reviews. It looked like it worked. And then after a couple weeks, my laptop stopped. I guess the little data light stopped turning on, and when I turn on the laptop, nothing happens. Just the power light turns on, and that's it.
Do you hear fans come on or no?
Yes, they do come on.
Okay. There's a couple of possibilities. It could be it is in fact coming on, but you're not seeing it. The screen is not lighting up. Would be one.
Well, also, I'm not sure if it makes a difference or not, but I found out after looking at the adapter that the voltage is different than the one that I had originally.
Oh, that could be it. Yeah.
It's lower. The voltage is lower.
Yeah, that probably is it. It needs to match. So you got a cheap replacement.
Yeah. I was hoping that wasn't it. Does that mean I've pretty much lost my laptop?
No, it didn't hurt it. It just won't start with it.
Well, I tried a different adapter, and it doesn't do anything.
No, it certainly wouldn't burn out the laptop. I wouldn't worry about that. The laptop has circuitry to protect itself.
Okay.
But it is a good idea not to buy cheap Chinese knockoff adapters.
Yeah, it's too good to be true.
Yeah, more dangerous to buy the cheap battery. Because a lithium-ion battery has circuitry to keep it from overcharging, but that's on the battery. Or in the computer. And if it by the way, overcharging a lithium-ion battery would cause it to explode, as we learned from the Dreamliner.
Right.
But that's not the adapter so much. So I doubt very much that the adapter, if it were really poorly wired, I guess it could short-circuit the motherboard. But most of the time, laptops have protection. I doubt it's that. I would try to find a legitimate adapter. Go to the manufacturer, get their adapter. See if that's going to work. The Giz Wiz coming up. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Let's hear the rest of that clip. Epson projectors showcase amazing. It's amazing that he was so gracious to you. It's really neat.
Hello? Yes, is this the residence of Mr. Mel Blanc? Yes, it is. Can I talk to him, please? He isn't in just now. Is there a message? Well, what time do you expect him back? Oh, about 4:30, 5 o'clock, about 4:30. Okay, can I call him then? Yes, that'll be fine. Okay, thank you.
It's a different era. Yeah. Because I tried to call Steve Martin, and he just would never take my call.
Hello? Is Mr. Blanc there? One moment, please.
Yeah, I'll put him right on.
Hello? Mr. Blanc? Yes. My name is Bob, and I'm interested in doing voices for cartoons.
Yes.
And I was wondering if you could give me any advice on how to go about it and all.
You're a brave kid.
How did you get my number?
Well, that's a funny story. I used to live in Cincinnati, and I saw Wonderama, and you mentioned your wife's name was Estelle.
Oh, yeah.
And I was looking for your name in the phone book, and I saw Mrs. Estelle, and I just figured that was your wife.
Yeah. Tell me, have you created any voices, or do you just do impressions or impersonations?
Well, I've got one voice. It's hard to understand.
Yeah.
I can't...
Let me tell you something. In the first place, every voice must be understandable to me in a cartoon. Because if they can't understand you, just like the only one that ever got away with it is Donald Duck.
Yeah.
And the other character has to repeat what he says every time he says something. So that's not good. But if you can create voices, you know, for example, you see a little kitten, and you wonder how it could talk if it could talk.
This is actually really good advice.
And, you know, it's a small animal. You have to type them in. Do this with all the animals you see.
Yeah, and dialect. I should work on dialects and stuff like that.
Well, dialects aren't as important as the creation of voices.
Interesting.
But when you were, like, if you were working in a studio, and did they tell you, when you were doing Bugs Bunny, did they say what's up, Doc, and talk like that? Or?
No, they just actually showed me a cartoon, a picture of the character they're going to use in the cartoon. They tell me what he's going to do in the cartoon, then I have to create the voice for him. I mean, if he's a timid little character, I give him a timid voice. And if he's tough, like Bugs Bunny, I have to give him a tough voice. And so on down the line. But I tell you, it's not an easy business to get into. How old are you?
14.
14?
Yeah.
Well, it takes an awful long time to get established.
Did you need a agent when you started out?
Yes.
Did you?
Well, at the time I didn't, but it took me a year and a half to get an audition.
Oh, did it?
If I would have had an agent, I could have got in much quicker.
Because I called Walt Disney Studios, and I'm real gutsy, and I said, could you use guys to do voices for cartoons? And they asked me to do some voices, and I did.
Here comes Mom.
And they said, that's pretty good, let me go get an animation, see what...
Mom hung up.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to meet Mr. Porky Pig. Come here, Bob. Say hi to Dick.
Hey, what's going on, Dick?
Hey, how you doing?
That's the real Porky Pig.
Wow, I love your jacket, too. Whoa. You know, basically, I work for
Ladies and
Mad.
gentlemen, here comes Dick.
His name is Bob Bergen. That's what he does for a living.
Wow. Well, you know, Warner Brothers owns Mad.
So you guys are all in the same... Okay, make that 1,277,843,878 listens. Another penny in the coffers of Psy. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, and here he is, Dick D. Bartolo, our Mad's Maddest writer, and our Gizwiz, our gadget guy. Hey, Dickie D.
Leo, how are you, pal?
I'm excited because the human rubber band came.
Oh, great.
Or what is it called? The human slingshot.
The human slingshot.
Yeah.
Yes, the way to fire people in an instant.
I think it's a game because you have 3 or 4 people in the human slingshot and you boing, boing. So we need a lot of space, and of course, you know, there's not much space in the studio, so I figure we go up on the roof and do it. It should
that's good.
Yeah, it should be good. And and we'll make sure we bring some cameras. So,
yeah, you'll need and a couple of lawyers.
Well, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to make the employees do it.
Come on. The only reason people voted for it was...
We do a feature on our...
They things that will endanger your life.
Exactly. Or that cost me a lot of money.
Yes, yes.
We do a show on our podcast network, Dick and I, called The Gizwiz. And I have a segment on it, junk I bought from Sky Mall, because I was in a plane once, and I looked at this catalog. I thought, boy, if there were only... I would love to buy this, but I don't want to spend my money. So I figured out, well, if I do it on the show, then it's a tax deduction anyway.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
So the human slingshot
and also,
yeah.
If Internal Revenue ever questions it,
I'll give them.
You could say,
some gifts.
Would I really want this at my own home?
I got a gong that doesn't gong. I got all sorts of things. So now I have a human. Anyway, that we'll review that on Tuesday. I just want to let you know the human slingshot finally arrived.
Oh, I'm thrilled.
Yeah, can't wait. Only $75 to break your behind. What do you got for us, Dick?
Well, you know what? We were all out at CES, and we found things that cost $12,000, $25,000. So I thought I would find something really cheap, and I found the charge card, which is $25.
Worth every penny.
Yeah, well, it's kind of interesting. It's only because it's a problem we all have, and I did this not on this past trip to Vegas, but the previous one. I got to the hotel, I unpacked my computer, had my smartphone, and was going to charge the smartphone, and then I said, I have 90,000 cables on my desk. Could I possibly have left without the
one
connecting
you need? You never have the one you need.
No, you don't. So the charge card is credit card sized. It comes in 3 versions, micro USB we both have Galaxy phones. And then there's an iPhone version for the 30-pin and the new iPhone connector.
Oh, they have a Lightning. Oh, that's good. All right.
Yeah, they do. The Lightning. I think the Lightning is 6 to 8 weeks away. But basically, it goes in your wallet. You forget the cable. You take this thing out, size of a credit card. One end goes in your phone. Push the center of it out. That frees a flexible cable that goes into a USB port on your computer, and suddenly you're charging, you're syncing, and all is well.
For only a mere $25.
$25. And, on their website, I didn't want to tweet it, but it says if you tweet it, we will then send you a discount code. So I'm not sure what the discount code is. Someone said it brought it down to $18.
See, that's going to be the new thing. Everybody wants free tweets.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And they sucker you into it by saying, we ain't telling you what you're getting until it's tweeted.
So what you should do is you should create a dummy Twitter account for that stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no wonder you're the tech guy.
Yeah, I ain't giving you my followers. Dick DeBartolo is Mad's maddest writer. He has been for the last 5 decades. You could find his website at gizwiz.biz, and you can also play there the new What the Heck Is It contest. Let's just see. What the heck? I'm looking at it.
You're very good at this.
It's definitely a lawn dart.
Well, I can never say correctly, but usually right after the contest ends, I look and you were like dead wrong for 7 years.
Well, that's good because there's more Mad magazines for the wrong answer than there are for the right answer. The 12 Mad magazines autographed by this guy here for the correct answer, up to 24 for the best cute, silly, wrong answer. Find out more. Look at the picture online and then figure out what it is you're playing for an autographed copy of the April 2013 issue of Mad Magazine from Dickie D. Thank you, Mr. DeBartolo.
Yes, sir.
And we'll do the Giz Fizz later today, okay?
Yes, we are. I will be here for that, too.
All righty. Thank you, Dick. Joe is in Massachusetts. He's next. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Joe.
Hey, what's going on, Leo? How you doing?
I am well. How you doing?
Good. I just wanted to start by saying I've been a fan since the old Call for Help days.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I got a question. I watched one of your old episodes a little while ago. You were talking about how the big screen TVs are pretty much dead now.
You mean the projector, the rear projection TVs?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, big screen TVs are far from dead, obviously, but they're all what we call direct view now, plasma or LCD. Mitsubishi was the last company still making rear projection TVs, and they've decided to. I take it that's what you're talking about. They've decided not to make them anymore.
Right. I have a rear projection Mitsubishi TV, and it's a 1080i, and I always had a great picture. And I recently moved, and when I moved it, I came home, and I noticed my blue convergence was off, and I can't adjust it up or down now. I can move it left or right, and I can move the red up and down, left or right, but just not the blue up and down.
Yeah. Don't know how to fix that. I have to be honest with you. That comes from the days when they had 3 different color guns.
Right.
And these are fairly old. I don't know. I mean, I imagine there's somebody who makes a specialty of adjusting these, but I have no idea. The advantage of rear projection was it doesn't take up much space. The disadvantage, well, for one thing, it's 1080i, not 1080p, so it's not, it's 720p really. It's not high def in the truest sense of the word. And frankly, the market's just died. There's still front projection TVs, because those you can get giant screens, because you just move the projector farther back, and you can get 110, 200 inches. You can get even bigger. But those can be very expensive, and they're dim, and they have other picture issues. Really, the most popular, and they're probably selling a lot of them this week for the Super Bowl, is LCD, LED backlit, and then secondarily plasma. And then way in the distant rear projection. Probably it's time to look at a new TV. You might be surprised how inexpensive they are. You can get a 55-inch LED backlit LCD from Vizio, or one of the less expensive manufacturers, for under $1,000. For $3,000, you can get this state-of-the-art Panasonic plasma, the Viera, the VT50. 65-inch TV, and that's a fantastic TV, and it's just a few $1,000s. It's really amazing how good these have gotten. I don't know how to fix this problem, just because it's, you probably need to go out and get somebody who knows how to do this stuff. I'm out of time, but as I said, I'll continue to take calls at 8888 Ask Leo for the next couple of hours. Thanks for joining me. Have a great Geek Week. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. I'm Leo Laporte. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, the Tech Guy is just the tip of the iceberg. We do nearly 30 shows now on the Twit Netcast Network, and you'll find them all at twit.tv. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on Mac Break Weekly, iPad on iPad Today. You get your daily dose of tech news from Tech News Today, and our weekly roundtable show, This Week in Tech. It's all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next time with another great Tech Guy podcast. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.